Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo. Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Good morning, my beautiful coffee beans. I hope you're having an amazing Tuesday. It's nice to see you all. Please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button on your way into the chat.
Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases.
Thank you, Hobos
Head
Live.
over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
we've been talking a lot about, what do we need to do to stop this nonsense? What do we need to do to get people held accountable and justice served? Not just here in Tennessee, but all over the country. We've been talking about politics. We've been talking about uncomfortable topics here on the Bullhorn Betty channel to get this under control. What happened? There's my camera. To get this under control, right? And then we talk about the sanitization of media. We talk about it on a wider platform than just Sumner County. However, Sumner County is where we pull our examples from. And lo and behold, despite the conversations, me coming out and saying, what is going on with my home? My stuff seems like I got too many things going on here and it's frustrating something. So that should fix my problem. Can I move my mouse with my camera? Okay. We had some technical issues today. So I moved some stuff around and obviously created some new technical issues. But it's fixed that quick. I knew what it was. But we've been talking about the sanitization of media, why social media has been, rearing its head. We've been outperforming mainstream media for quite some time on our stories, not on our stories, our ownership of those stories too, right? We actually care about our cases. People see that we care about our cases. We think outside the box. We try to find ways to stop some of the nonsense. We pool our resources. We do what we can do. This is social media. This is the true crime genre. Okay, we have millions and millions and millions of people that are associated with the true crime community on this platform, as well as every single other platform that's out there that have true crime content creators on it. And we talk often about the sanitation of mainstream media, local mainstream media. They're in the pockets of their politicians. And again, without fail, we have ultimate examples just recently where local media in Sumner County that is reporting on the FBI can't even say what's in that FBI report. They want to tone it down, right? They want to sanitize the comments, even from the FBI. It's infuriating. It's frustrating. It's why we need to be in Sumner County. It's why we need to be there. We need to make sure. I want to put this out there. We're creating some designs. You know what? This is where we're going to be giving away our deception deck, okay? We've been trying to figure out, we've said that we are going to give, this is not the deception, you guys are going to get a brand new deception deck from the Deception Detective, okay? And this is where we're going to do it. This is the perfect project to do it on. We're doing a flyer, so people that are graphic designers take notes. The prize is the deception deck. If you don't, this is $70, $80, I think, with shipping, whatever it is. I can't remember what I paid for it, but I think it was like right around $80, $84 or something like that with whatever. Maybe it was just $79.99. I don't know. I can't remember. But it's a pretty big giveaway. But this is not the giveaway we're doing on the 19th by any stretch of the imagination. We're doing something else on the 19th. But we're going to do this is going to be the prize. We need our graphic designers to create us a beautiful flyer. We are doing a Sebastian week in February. The Sebastian week is going to be from February 23rd, and I think it's through the 28th. I think it's going to be from the Monday to the Friday, because that's when Sumner County actually works. Whatever, I guess I need to... Whatever, right? They lock their doors 24/7. They don't let people in without ringing a doorbell. That is the most insane thing. You are a safe space. I don't care what you got to do to fix this in Tennessee. Billy, open your damn sheriff departments, okay? Open your damn sheriff's departments. For flip's sake. Anyways, let's not get all, right? Let's not get... So we need to make sure that we come in there, and we want a big, beautiful event, okay? This is not this is Bullhorn Betty style event, but when we're out in the streets, we're representing Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. That means when we're there, we're waving, we have smiles on our face, we have signs in our hand, and we make sure that we are representing Sebastian well. We're not there. What I do, what I say, I sanitize myself a little bit, right? Because I want to go tell this sheriff to go himself, right? Well, it's not appropriate at an event. So what do? I have my commentary, my 5 minutes at the top of every hour, my commentary that I'm going to be saying to the sheriff, and it's not going to be littered with cuss words. It's going to be littered with factual information and demanding answers. That's what it's going to be, right? That's what it's going to be. It's going to be discussing the case. It's going to be making sure we have signs out there to let the community know there is media out there telling them the truth about this case. They do not need to rely on their sanitized mainstream media. And we're going to get in all of that here very, very, very shortly. But before we do, we're going to be taking a few moments because we have another young boy that is missing. That young boy's name is Liam A. King. He's a 7-year-old nonverbal autistic child. And let me get back to the drawing, the raffle. I'm getting ahead of myself. So what we're going to do is we need people to design the flyer. We want to make sure the flyer is representative of this event. I haven't decided the name of the event. The other event was called Gathering with Voices. We're Gathering with Voices, I think is what the other one was. This is going to be something that needs to be coined with Sebastian, okay? It needs, thank you, Gwen. Good gracious, love bug. Thank you. Thank you for your love and support for prize. Aw, thank you. Thank you. Bless you. So we need somebody to design it. We need to have some, my ideas. We have a whole group of people here that have a lot of thoughts on how this is. This is we do love protests like this, right? It is a protest, but it's a gathering. We're not out there going, we want him fired, we want him fired. That's not what we are bringing. This is to bring awareness and attention to Sebastian's case. And we want the community as well as their government to know how many people care about this boy and how we need to make them see. And being irate and angry and frustrated is not going to set the example we need to set out there in the streets. But I need you. This is going to happen in February 2026. Like I said, it's going to be from February 23rd to February 28th. Let me just confirm my dates here. We want to go to 2026, a year. Let's go year. There we go. 2026. February 23rd to February 27th. That's right, because I'm leaving on the 28th. That's what it is. So I'll be leaving on the 28th. And so this gives everybody out there plenty of time to go ahead and tell your employer, I need this time off. Now, maybe you don't have a week that you can take off. The main focus is the 2-year mark, right? So the main focus is for everybody to be there on February 26th. That is the main focus. I'm a one-man show. If I'm sitting out there in front of Sumner County by myself with my bullhorn and my picket signs, you guys know me. I'm perfectly fine. I will be live. You'll see everything I'm doing. I'm perfectly fine with that. Oh, thank you, Hobo's Life. Hobo's Life just gifted a Bullhorn Betty membership. If you received your Bullhorn Betty membership, don't forget to tell Hobo's Life thank you. And for the newest member to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club, which is Sweet Sativa. Welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club. The insanity salam. And of course, Gwen gets, because I'm a love machine. I think you earned that. I think you earned that. So, whoever wants to design will have to put a date on this design. I need it out. You know what? Let's give 2 things away on September 19th, shall we? Why don't we do the deck of cards and our giveaway? So if you want to be in the drawing for the flyer, the best flyer wins. And how we do the flyer, I don't make the flyer. I don't pick the flyer. Our audience is going to pick the flyer. So nobody's going to know who made what. They're going to be 1, 2, 3, whatever, however many that I get in. It's going to be labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're going to be anonymous. And our audience out there, we're going to give we're going to do something so you guys can vote on it. Okay, I don't know where I'm going to have a voting thing, but we'll create a voting thing and put them all there, and we will vote on them. Okay, we will vote on all of them. And then from, how will we do this? And whoever is the ultimate selected flyer, you guys, whoever it is, will win a deception deck. There we go. We have a deception deck, okay? So you will win a deception deck for whoever makes this creative flyer. Now, I'm not going to handcuff you, so I'm not even titling this event yet, okay? So you get full creative ability to name the event. You guys know the dates. I'm always out there by 8 o'clock in the morning, 8 to 5, work hours. That's where I'm at. If you guys want to come out and join me, fine. If you don't, I'm fine. Believe that. You guys have known me for years. Me being by myself, I'm just fine with it. I'm never alone. But I don't believe that's going to be the case. I believe we're going to have a lot of people come in because we're giving this, we have plenty of time to really ramp this up, because I want hundreds of people there. I want hundreds of beautiful people that love this boy, that want to hold a flyer, want to wave at the community, want to put a smile on their face. We're going to have signs that says corruption resides here, but we're still going to wave with smiles. We're not going to be confrontational. If somebody's confrontational, we're going to ignore them. And the leaders of the groups, we're going to have leaders out there, so they will take care of anything. And of course, law enforcement is still going to be there to protect us. So even though Sumner County, we're calling them corrupt, they're going to still be the ones that protect us. That's why it's important that we make sure that our safety is a top priority, their safety is the top priority, and everybody that's attending safety is a top priority. You guys know me. I'm a no BS type of thing. We follow the rules, and we have zero tolerance for rule breakers, okay? Because this is about a child. This is Sebastian Rogers. And if you're going to be out there, we expect you to come out there with love, okay? Because that's what we need, is love. I'm going to be out there speaking. I'm going to be rough around the edges, but I'm going to be very, very respectful in my speech while I'm out there. And I expect everybody else to. If I can do it, you guys can do it, right? So it's going to be a great event. We're most likely going to have some type of drinks out there for people. We're going to have some type of something to snack on out there for people. This is not going to be, show up, basically you bring your own chair, your own sign. And if you need jackets, whatever, it's going to be February. So I anticipate it being a little chilly, maybe it might be nice. Who knows? But it might be chilly, so you're going to want to wear, comfortable clothes, comfortable shoes. If you can't stand long, you're going to need to bring a chair. We're going to make sure that we have safe spaces and stuff like that. Remember, Americans with disabilities, remember that is going to be something you may have to use if law enforcement insists on being rough or not allowing you to sit in chairs, because they can't ask you and they can't force you if you're an American with disabilities. So they have to provide reasonable modifications for you. So always remember that we follow the law, and we will work with law enforcement to make sure that we are not harassed by law enforcement and that they're there to protect us. And we can all work fair and well together. This is part of their job. And you know how Bullhorn Betty loves people doing their job and doing their job well. So that's where we're at. So if you guys would like to put your piece in for the deception deck, please do. We need flyers, but you guys have full artistic range on your whatever. Just the dates is all, and it has to be Sebastians. It has to be something focused to Sebastian. If any flyer comes in here without Sebastian's face being on it, then you guys can use AI to create images with Sebastian, just to make sure that it's nice. But if they don't have any image of Sebastian Rogers on it, it won't even be put into the offer for people to vote on. It has to have. It is about Sebastian. It's about avocation of Sebastian. Sebastian is everything related to this event. So the flyer has got to have Sebastian's face on it. That's the date and his face is required on the flyer. So we are going to be in front of Sumner County Sheriff's Office, and all the roads and everywhere. We're just going to line up and down the roads. Okay, that's just how we're going to do it. We're going to line up and down the roads. I'm going to be stationed in front of Sumner County. I'm going to be stationed pointing at Sumner County because I like to see people, you know, when I talk to people, I'm an eyeball to eyeball person. So I want to make sure that wherever I'm focusing my conversation, that I'm focusing at the people I'm speaking to. So we're going to have a camera in front of me just in case they don't want to look out the window. We want to make sure that they can see me on screen. So we'll have a camera in front of my face, and I'm going to be directed at the Sumner County. But we want people out there waving and making sure the whole community understands that we, Sebastian's Army, are still here, and we're still fighting for him, and we want to see this case solved, and we want to represent ourselves well in that community. Okay, so that's kind of be where we're at. So if you guys would like to participate, now's the time to start making those arrangements with your bosses, your work, and also saving money. Right, you need to budget something like this. There's going to be some traveling expenses, so you're going to be on the road. You're going to either have gas or airplane. You're going to have a place to sleep. I recommend buddy systems. Okay, I whenever I go out of town, either The Real Me Too or Chronicles of Olivia or some other person in our group is usually with me, and we split costs of room, travel, food, whatever the case may be. It really does help. So if you have a friend that you've met online, or you guys are neighbors and watch true crime together, or you're workers and you guys all want to participate, you guys can really cut costs by staying, getting like 2 queen beds and staying together and cutting those hotel costs in half. And of course, gas costs. You can't really split airfare. That's kind of what it is. But if you're driving or commuting or anything, certainly all those costs can be split among a few friends, right? So, think smart. And me, I'm all about budgeting, and I'm all about saving money. So if I can find, and maybe we'll start working on finding a specific hotel, maybe that will be willing to give us some, maybe extra discounted rates. If we can get like maybe 20 or 30 people or more going to a specific hotel, and then we'll all kind of be together. That would be kind of fun too. So I'm open to suggestions, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. We have the dates. Everybody wanted to know, what's the dates? I'm going to be there the full week. Okay, my attention to this case takes a full week. They wanted to do stuff to me. They wanted to shut me up. They wanted to intimidate me. Airbnb is a great option. Thank you, Lisa B. Always. I know that we have a few people that are really, really tight-knit here, and that would be a great option for you guys. I'm very excited of meeting all the people that love this boy. One of the things that I always do when I get there is I make sure I go down the line, introduce myself. If you guys would like to shake hands, whatever, I love my people. I love the people that keep these cases alive. I would not be good at my job without all of you, and you guys know that. It takes a huge team to do the kinds of stuff that we do all over this country. And without the support of my channel, we would never be able to do even remotely half of the stuff that we do. But we are very blessed on this channel. We have, strong-willed people here that really, truly want to see changes happen. And I would love to support that. That's really what this channel really, truly is about. It's never been about me. It's been about we. It's been about our people. It's been about our children. It's been about how to get this crazy train to stop, how to get these people to wake up, how, just a whole host of things. We see what's wrong, and we just do what we can do, our little part in this big, ugly world, to scratch a dent in the problem. And if we can just save one person, or expose one criminal, or get an additional person locked up that should have been locked up a long time ago, by God, then we're doing what's right. We're doing what's right. And that's the end of the conversation for me. We do what's right all the time, not some of the time. And I appreciate everybody taking personal responsibility in that, and that's really what it comes down to, the personal responsibility. Now, we have another young child. His name's Liam. He's been missing for a little while now. Let me go ahead and clean this up. Sorry, guys, I should have done this. So these are all the little housekeeping stuff that I should be doing when in the mornings. But it's a new system, so I'm not quite adjusted to all of my required tasks to get a show started anymore. I'm a little off my game, but We're learning. I can't believe how far we've come on this little platform here since I just started putting just a very little bit of time in building a brand new studio from scratch, which, it seems like when I first approached this new system, the OBS system, which you have to build from the ground up, it was very intimidating. I'm not a technically savvy person. I think I do a lot of good research. I know the places, but as far as building stuff, I've built several websites. I built my father's electrical website. I built my ex-husband's handyman business website. So I do have some, but I'm not an expert by any stretch of the imagination. And so I'm very proud of myself that we got this far on this type of studio, and that I'm able to now actually problem solve during live broadcasts. So I'm sorry if I'm tooting my own horn just a little bit, but every now and again, I can just be proud of me. I'm just saying. Dun, 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 dun. And then I like this one too. I just wish they would last longer. That's all. I wish we could get down a little bit, just get down. Yeah. Okay. So let's get back to real stuff, real life stuff. So we have a 7-year-old nonverbal autistic child out in Asheboro, North Carolina. That's the area that Olivia's in. I know she's already sent me some stuff. So I anticipate Chronicles of Olivia, she might go out there personally. So we'll be watching her channel. If you guys don't know who Chronicles of Olivia is, she's one of the first, I spent 2 years with her on the road, okay? We did a lot of amazing work on Gabby Petito, Kylan Schulte, Summer Wells, just a whole lot of different cases her and I collaborated on to find answers. Now, I do want to remind you guys, in Kylan Schulte and Crystal Turner, we went to Kim Neal, Lieutenant Kim Neal with Adam Pinkschwick, whatever his name is, and we were laughed out of the room. Okay, we were laughed out of the sheriff's office. Well, we brought a couple different. We were kind of gauging. We were kind of interrogating the lieutenant. He kind of figured it out because he was asking me, "Do you have a recorder in your pocket?" "Yes, sir, I do." "Well, I wish you would have told me before we started." "Oh, well, I don't trust you." Don't know what to say, Kim, Lieutenant Kim Neal. Don't know what to say. But we ended up being laughed out of the sheriff's office. Come to find out, over a year later, the person one of the suspects that we brought to him truly was the suspect in the case that murdered Kylan Schulte and Crystal Turner. We had a good hand with the district attorney there, the DA, assistant DA rather, and she kind of, was filling us in even up to 9-10 months after the case. We were asking, why is it taking so long? We wanted to know who it was. We had one of the reasons why we thought it was Adam, and it was we uncovered Adam's name within 24 hours, was because he left work after he worked with Crystal Turner, and he left work, didn't even pick up his last paycheck, and he was homeless. That was our critical key that made our brain say, a homeless person's not leaving money on the table. Something happened here, and that's what brought him into our world. He ended up being there. Now, why am I talking about this as we're going into Liam? Is because Chronicles of Olivia was with us when we were uncovering all of this. And if she's out there, she will start working and getting to the bottom of it. As you guys know, I'm kind of handcuffed at the house. We do very little traveling right now because I'm in the process of paying an attorney a lot of money. We have any penny that I get really does go to legal expenses, and it's kind of shackled us to the house until this is resolved. And even after that, after it's resolved, we can't just get right back out there because I still have Tony to pay, right? And so we're still out probably a year of being boots on the ground. If something comes up where I absolutely have to be out there, then we'll make that decision at that time. But right now, we're going to rely on the people that can get out there. So if you don't know who Chronicles of Olivia is, please consider going to her channel and subbing up to her, because she's going to be most likely covering the case. And she's now a North Carolina resident. Dolly is in North Carolina searching. Yeah, well, listen, the man did, when we were out searching for Quentin Simon, this is not to dog him. I don't like him, period, but this is not to dog him. First of all, he was too scared to go anywhere out of his house. Secondly, when we go out and search, I've been searching for years, and he made a critical mistake, and it almost got him bit by a snake. He almost stepped on a snake going into the woods of Georgia. I had to grab his arm and pull him back from literally stepping on the head of a rattlesnake. And so he's not very... It's just very concerning. If you guys care about him and you're his audience, I don't like him, but I also don't want anything happening to him. And I would suggest you guys, investing in some snake boots if he doesn't have them, because I'm telling you, that scared me. And where we had a search, it was littered with rattlesnakes. So we ended up having to take an ATV into that area. But it's just... he's not a very highly trained searcher. I've been searching for years for people, not like SAR. I'm not looking for evidence, okay, folks? When I'm out there searching for people, I'm out there searching for people. Once the people are found, I let law enforcement deal with everything else. You know what I'm saying? So I don't, when people are like, oh, you're not trained, I don't need to be trained to look for a human being, okay? They're pretty big people. I'm not looking for microscopic evidence. I'm looking for a human being. If we find the human being, we know how to leave the human being where they are, back the heck out of this area, and call law enforcement and let them handle it from that point. That's the only place that I have out there in those woods. Once what is found, that's the ending of that. Then we go into an observatory and commentary role. We no longer go into an active search role, and we don't try to solve the case. That's not for social media to do. So let me go over here. Thank you, guys. I just saw something else. Did I miss a few things? Let me go over here and say hi before we get into Liam, because I really don't know too much about Liam. Hobos Live, BHB, thank you for all you do. Thank you for being a member for 8 months. It's really sweet. And Melanie, thank you so much, my love. You really are just a trooper. I appreciate you. Good morning, Betty, Delilah, Mods, and chat. And everyone is doing well. Much love to all, and speedy recovery for Mama Bullhorn. Hopefully, well, you guys probably haven't seen Mama Bullhorn in here. I'm sure she's doing well with her arm. She's doing her pendulum swings, and she's moving it. It's not near as bad as the horrid recovery she had with her knee, but she still can't use. I mean, she can use her hand, but she can't use her hand. Like, she can't put weight on it. So I don't even know if she'll be typing in our chat for a while. Sebastian was on the news this AM talking about FBI looking into the case now. Oh yeah, no. They're getting it. Trust me when I say there's a reason why I've been on a tyrant, because I'm over it. You guys, if you are not on X with me, you guys, I'm sure you guys will know. I am on a tyrant. I'm tired. I'm just tired. I'm tired of all of it. Okay? I'm tired of all of it. I'm just ripping everybody a new asshole on every social media platform possible. I'm taking no prisoners. And I'm rolling over everybody with a blessed bus. Like, I'm tired of it. Get this shit fixed. Get it fixed now, not tomorrow, now. I'm not here for blowing smoke up my butt. I'm here for literally action and results. If you're not producing results, move the hell out of the way. Let somebody in that's going to produce results. I'm just a no BS type of person. I don't have time for this nonsense. Our children are at risk. We've got parents that have abused these children still walking the street while we're claiming to be a law and order nation. Okay? I'm done. Okay? I can't express that in words enough. I'm done. And so I've just been hitting. People have been sharing, people have been doing their part. People are paying attention. People are listening. These people, we're literally swarming them with Sebastian Rogers and Sumner County is corrupt. And we're not stopping. We're done. We're done playing these games. I don't sit here and argue with law enforcement. If you're going to be obstructionist, well, I've got an antidote for that. Okay? I've got an antidote for that. That's 12 hours a day just pummeling the FBI to do something every single day, pumping our federal government to do something. Several texts, several tweets a day about it. I'm starting to include the GOP. I'm starting, like, when I see stuff over in the EU, I'm including the EU Council. Like, I'm done with the nonsense that's going on in this world. I've had it up to here, and I'm an average Joe, so I have to imagine that my average Joes out there are probably right there with me. So I'm not going to sit and be apologetic or anything like that, but I absolutely do believe that the FBI is taking a lot more critical note of this case than they have in the past, because we're getting sick and tired of it. And we are going to make them see and make them listen, including Sumner County. Because what happened to me, I will be damned, happens to anybody else in the state of Tennessee. And I don't care how much time I've got to stay in there to correct that ship. But I want to make sure that next time a content creator goes to any community and records from their private vehicle or even on public roadway, that law enforcement keeps their freaking hands off them. And when they have parents that are in that county that disappeared a child, they're not rubbing elbows with them or breaking bread with them. That's what I'm going to change. That's what I'm going to change. And I love it because everybody always likes to laugh at me until I make the change. So don't take that victory lap dance just yet, because I will not be done until that place is cleaned up. They should have probably done a little more research into me instead of listening to the hate channels about who I was. Because I got to tell you, I'm pretty sure that they're probably not really wanting to play with me anymore. But hey, I don't know. You play stupid prizes, or you play stupid games, you get stupid prizes. And I'm the stupid prize deliverer, right? Sorry I'm late. Sending love your way. Love your work, love your stance, appreciate it. What do you do? When you're done, you're done. We're done. And now we have a 7-year-old autistic boy that's missing. I'm not ready to go in on the parents yet. We don't have any evidence right now that supports that anybody's involved other than he disappeared, but I'm not hearing some of the things that I want to hear in a case like this so far. So we're always going to have a side eye to whomever was around this child prior to this child missing. It's just the second nature of true crime content creators in our audience, okay? We're going to throw the theory out there before we have evidence of the theory, because we see a lot of these cases, especially with our medically needy children. We also know a high number of our medically needy children also do wander off and, end up getting in lakes and stuff like that, and it takes several days to find them, folks, okay? Which is unfortunate, but this, we don't know what situation we're in right now with Liam. Are we in a situation where we should be side-eyeing the parents? No, I don't think we're there yet, but if we can collect some information on the parents during this, we're not looking at them time, it's always best. This is when you get the most information. When things start turning is when they start shutting down social medias and stuff like that. So if you guys are researchers and stuff like that, start getting into these people's Facebooks and getting them recorded, start getting them notated and putting it somewhere safe. That's the best strategy in this. It's not that we need that, it's just there if we need it later on. It's just a best practices of collection, right? So we want to get in there and start pulling those things and getting, finding out doing background checks on any and all people that were in and around this child at the time the child disappeared, or within the few days of this child's disappearance, or locating where this child may have, went, because you don't know if somebody abducted this child. Is this an abduction situation? It's a low degree probability, but we don't really have a whole lot of information just yet, but we're going to find some information here just shortly. If you are watching your children, then that would reduce something bad happening to them. I believe it's called parenting. Very good point. Very good point. And this is a 7-year-old child. So we need to figure out what's going on here. Is it something Is it something that we're going to, in 14 days, find a poor little, body coming up? Or is this a situation where we need to scrutinize some people a little more? To be honest with you, I don't know what we're looking at here. We need to do more research to kind of get, to find out which way this case is going. Okay, so I don't want people going and starting to beat up parents and stuff like that. I truly don't think we're quite there yet, but we've got some stuff to look at, and this is just, you guys make up your own mind, and go from there. I can only give you guys the information. I'm not ready to make an assessment just yet. I don't have enough information to do that.
And I'm Julie Luck. Deputies say the child is nonverbal with cognitive impairments and may run if he's approached. We have live team coverage on the search for the little boy. Let's start with WFMY News 2's Hannah Hill, live in Asheboro. Hannah, I understand that law enforcement is focusing in on a pond.
That's right, Julie. We are wrapping up day 2 of a search for 7-year-old Liam King. Law enforcement is now honing in on a specific area, and that area is a nearby pond that they are now draining. All of this started yesterday, Sunday, around 11 a.m. That's when Liam officially went missing. Law enforcement says he is a person with autism and is nonverbal. The sheriff says he may be hiding instead of walking around. Liam was last seen south of Asheboro near the Uwharrie National Forest. The sheriff asked neighbors to stay away from the immediate area where they're searching.
And guys, please, if you're out in that area, and this is one thing I will stress, I can't stress this enough, and it doesn't matter. Like even in Sumner County, if I was in an area and they tell me, hey, we don't want you really searching here just yet, or people have, because I've been told that from Kingsport Police Department when we were going out to look for Layla Santinello, the detective just said, there's several places we haven't been able to get people to. We kind of need you to stay out of those areas. And then the nuance to that is I can't tell you what those areas are. And I'm like, okay, so you can't tell me what areas you need me to stay out of, but you need to stay out of areas. How do we handle this? How do I approach this, right? So you know how I approached it? I sent him a map of where I was planning on searching and had him approve it, that was okay for me to go in. Then he didn't have to tell me anything related to the integrity of the investigation, and we could go out there. Oh, Kathy! Oh, from the UK. Is that Britain? Don't beat me up. I'm not smarter than a 5th grader. I'm not smarter than a 5th grader, Kathy, but thank you for being here. Bless you. Welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Grab your straitjacket in your padded room. Thank you. Don't hate me because I don't know my flags. Somebody needs to, you know what I'm going to watch? I am going to, yes, Britain, thank you. I need to watch if I watch a video about the nation flags, I might remember, but please forgive me. Some of my shortcomings are ever glaring on this show, okay? So thank you for being here, and welcome from across the pond. It's nice to see you. But just the point, if they tell you guys, don't balk. Even Sumner County, if they came and said, hey, we really don't want you in this area, I'd be like, at the end of the day, I'd be like, okay, I won't be in this area, because at the end of the day, we're looking for a person. If we don't want to monkey into an investigation, we want to assist in the investigation, right? We don't want to hinder or hurt it. So you have to take some instruction from these law enforcement officers, whether you like it or not. They're saying stay out of the area. So guys, honor that. Stay out of the area. Not only that, if they truly believe this child is in the pond, you don't want to see that. Okay? That's something that you'll never be able to get out of your mind. These people have to see that every day as part of their job. Let them do their job. Okay? Again, is this child in the pond? When I was talking, I was reaching out to some people this morning. I was kind of feeling like, that we're going to probably it's going to probably be a situation where it's going to be a few days before this child kind of comes up. But we don't know that. We've assumed that before. I mean, Sebastian Rogers is the next case that we're about to cover.
And at the beginning, many of us and people out there, all the people smarter than us, telling us that he's most likely in a pond, we were sitting there waiting with bated breath for 2 solid weeks to see if he came up, and he never came up. So then we had to change our tune and start side-eyeing people. So, I don't want to hear this child being fished out of a pond, but you know what, as opposed to the alternative, if he, like, I'd rather him just come, them find him curled up in like maybe a trunk of a tree or something like that. There are pretty big holes in trunks of trees, believe it or not. I'd like to see him, found safely like JJ Rollins. We went in Brooksville. We went out there searching for JJ Rollins. He was in a very desolate area with wildlife. I mean, ravines, things that a little boy could really get hurt and lose their life in. And he was found after a day or two out in the wilderness. He was obviously eaten up by mosquitoes and stuff like that, but he was brought home safe and sound when many of us thought he was gone. I'll tell you right off, when I got there was just something over me that told me, because I knew where we were searching was wrong. I've searched enough places that as soon as I saw the area that law enforcement was putting us into, I knew he wasn't there. I knew he wasn't there within 20 minutes of searching. There's just no way. There was too much there to stop him. Like, he would have fallen in this hole or that hole, or this, fell down this. He would have been found very, very quickly had he been on the area that we were searching. And somebody broke away from our searches and went and searched a different area that they thought made more sense. And they hit pay dirt. They found JJ Rollins out there. So I've been a part of a lot of searches, personally, physically out there searching. I was there when JJ Rollins was brought home, and we all cheered. We all cheered for that little boy coming home. And it was really a great day. So I'm hoping that we have another one of those. It's never our hope that he's found in a pond, but I prefer if he's gone, that they find that it's because of an accident, as opposed to what many of our cases end up turning out to be, if that makes sense. I don't know how better or eloquently to put that.
All I ask is that all the neighbors in that area that have graciously come out and tried to help us, just don't come into the area where we are just quite yet, because
I like him. You can tell he's a nice guy. I'm sorry, you can just tell when you hear him speak who the nice officers are that get stuff done and who aren't. You don't have to be a prick to lead. I'm just saying. I like this guy. I already like this guy. See, I'm a judgmental person. What can I say?
It could disrupt evidence that may be needed at a later date. I hope that they do continue to look at their own property that they own and away from the general area where we're searching.
The sheriff says it has been a challenge searching by air, and that's because of the thick canopy of trees. They are having a hard time picking up thermal energy.
This is one thing we learned in the Brian Laundrie case, because a lot of people think, helicopters are by far one of the most expensive tools we can use to locate someone. And honestly, we learned in the Brian Laundrie case that they're only about 5% effective, especially in very dense foliage, trees, forestry, because the canopy, it puts such a layer of stuff, it can't penetrate it. And out here in a lot of this land, as you see behind this person with a backpack, it's daylight on his side. Look into that forest. You can't see hardly anything. That means that those trees are grown so intertwined that they literally are like a canopy, that no water. I mean, I bet you it's pretty dry under there. I bet you stuff rolls down that hill to get into that area. versus actually penetrating from the trees down, because it's almost like a roof, like a ceiling there, like one of those tiki hut things. Those things don't leak, and it's all natural stuff. So you got to think of that. So these helicopters, that thermal imaging, unless that child's in the trees, they're not going to be able to see that. And that requires more manpower. That means you physically have to get somebody out there in the woods to go check it. Thermal imaging drones are needed. Yeah, they are. And see, the imaging drones would be better because they're smaller. They can duck into these. You can control them to go down and in and around and, under all this thick shrubbery. But I feel like sometimes they get, oh, guys, I got to take this. Give me just a second. I got to mute myself. Give me just a second. This is an important phone call. All right, guys, sorry about that. I had to take care of something. I forgot to add a document to an email, and I didn't mean to show you guys the email, but it is what it is. It's nothing that was, top secret or anything like that, so it is what it is. Anyways, have to be careful when I do that. Sometimes I need to do stuff. Okay, so let's get back to here. Let's listen to the rest of this. I'm sorry we had to take a detour. Sometimes we do.
Former federal law enforcement officer Josh Flory traveled from South Carolina to make on-foot efforts beyond the immediate search.
It certainly is much more thick than I thought it was. This actually reminds me of some of the forested areas we dealt with when we did the jungle training in Japan. It's very, very thick, so you sort of got to have your wits about you when you're walking around here.
Randolph.
Well, that's interesting. They got people that have been all over searching all over the world for people. I love that, right? You guys don't forget that Chris Proudfoot actually went, I believe he said, to Indonesia to search for people after a tsunami or an earthquake or something like that. So he would have been in the best position to be out there searching for his stepson, but he's never done. Instead, he decides to put on a sheriff's suit and mock the sheriff as well as Seth Rogers. Just a little food for thought. A little food for thought. So we're hearing now, let me see if I can refresh this and we'll get to a little more information about the 7-year-old. It is, we're not jumping the gun or side-eyeing the parents because, this is a nonverbal autistic child. I don't know if you guys have been watching the stuff I've been putting out on autism on my X account, but you guys know how I feel about this. You know how I feel about some of the medical advice and other things, and from everything that I've learned in the Sebastian Rogers case, it seems like a lot of people that have autistic children believe that, something did that to them. And we're uncovering and unraveling some of that truths from our government. There's been a lot of push and shove, battle back and forth between paid reports and the truth. And right now, I have a funny feeling we're going to find out that very bad stuff has been added to our vax for our children that have caused a number of the ailments we're seeing through our society right now. I truly, you guys know I've been saying this stuff for years, but it was emboldened more in the Sebastian Rogers case. And now we're going to be, I truly believe we're going to find out that there was some really bad stuff that they were pumping into our pregnant moms, our infant babies, and our children. So just pay attention, folks. Just pay attention. That's all I'm asking. Just pay attention. That won't let me do it. I was hoping that it would let me push play when I was on that screen, but it won't. We're going to have a commercial.
Ever wondered about the science behind a knock? ABC Legal does more than knock on doors. We eliminate.
Right now, authorities are still looking for a missing 7-year-old from Asheboro. The sheriff's office says Liam King disappeared Sunday morning after being left outside alone for just a few minutes. He is nonverbal and has cognitive impairments. If you see him or if you know anything, call 911 immediately.
So, still just not really, a whole lot. So officials are continuing their search efforts.
To say I'm fired up about this one, guys, that would be the understatement of the century.
Kurt Warner is a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame's class.
There we go. So there's basically saying that this child Forest Hill drives. Let's find out. Let's look at this area. We've got nothing but time. We got nothing but time today. So why not? Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. So this is our area. No, there's got to be some ponds. Definitely a lot of dense forestry. We know that they are looking at a pond. Let me take this off real quick. I haven't been able to confirm the exact address he went missing from, but I did hear it was from a family member's house on Forest Hill Drive. So that complicates things too, because he was around an environment he wasn't used to. So let's me just play around with this map a little bit. Let's go to, maybe this will help us identify maybe some water sources. So this is really the only water source right here. And how far is this? So if he went back, that's going to be a rugged terrain to get back there. So here's kind of the area. So are you guys seeing this? Let me move this over just a tad for you guys. Let me see how it looks on the screen. Perfect. So here is the area. This is Forest Hill Drive. It looks like there's a creek, and then there's like this huge body of water here. Now, if he got out and managed to get to this body of water and fall in, what does it say? Amish, hold on, let me read your, Mama Bear says, Amish, Mennonites, and many homeschooled parents' children have no autistic children. There are only 1-2 dots to connect. Yeah, exactly. I really am concerned. Like I've told people, wait until your children are a little older to get those vaccinations. I mean, they're not really, but this is their baby. Many parents are, parents for the first time. They're going to trust their doctor, and their doctor is going to be trusting the advice from CDC and WHO, which are corrupted organizations that get paid a lot of money to push stuff through to make Big Pharma rich. And they're all getting kickbacks and all getting these paydays at the expense of our children, all over profit. You'll find out that money has a lot to do with a lot of what we're dealing with here in America, and the people that won't keep their grubby hands off of the American people's money. So that's where we're at. And is that what we're going to find? I don't know. I'm probably kind of going off base here, but it just upsets me because this child deserved to, but you know what? I did find a lady. I forgot about this. I was just watching it yesterday. Why didn't I might have grabbed it. It might be in my email. We may have to go check my email. Anyways, listen to this. A woman has identified what the vaccinations are stripping from the children to make them more autistic and have this disconnect. And she started using supplements, and she specifically cited some deficiency in A. And she went through this whole thing of how she's handling and treating some children with autism. And she says she's having amazing results. I've got to find that. I think because of Sebastian Rogers and of course this case, I think that's relevant to this. So maybe after this, if I think about it, if not, it'll probably come up at our next show because I'll go through my email and get all the show stuff. But I saw what I saw with Sebastian Rogers, and that's kind of take pretty much the whole show to go over, and it's the sanitation of our local media out there. So I see that there really is this this is like the only body of water near them is this stuff right here, and of course this little body of water right here. So I have to think that this is where law enforcement is concentrating their search, I would presume. YouTuber, I think I will. It's actually, let me pull it off here and let me just see if I can find it real quick. Hold on a second. I don't want to put my email back up since we've already just went through me doxing my email, which again, I went back and checked. There was nothing that was really major there. I really don't like doing that. Which one is it? This one? Oh, good gracious. That one's scary. That's a scary story right there. I've got to make sure you guys watch that one. That's going to be important, but that's not the one. Is this the one? Yes, I found it. Okay. You guys got to watch this. Let me refresh this. Hold on, let me put it up on the screen and then I'll refresh it. I found it. There it is. I knew I sent it to myself because there's no way I would have watched this and passed this or, passed this up. Okay, we're refreshing it.
I was involved in 4 cases of children who were perfectly normal in their development until they had their school-age shots at age 5, DPT, hepatitis vaccine, MMR, and within weeks they were autistic. In my research, I've discovered that some children are protected if they have the lipid-soluble form of vitamin A that found from natural sources. However, the measles, mumps, rubella vaccine at 15 months of age depletes the body of all vitamin A. When they get the DPT the same day or several months later, many of these children disconnect. I have also discovered that the measles antibody that the body makes once they're exposed to the measles vaccine cross-reacts with intermediate filaments. Intermediate filaments are the glue that hold the cells that line the gut wall together. So when they get that MMR vaccine, they develop a leaky gut. The loss of the cell-to-cell connection also occurs in the blood-brain barrier and in the cells that surround the bile canicula where toxins are excreted from the body. What I'm treating these children with is the natural lipid-soluble form of vitamin A. I'm giving their recommended daily allowance only of vitamin A in the form of cod liver oil to bypass these blocked G protein pathways. In a few days, a lot of these children look at me, focus, they regain eye contact. After 2 months on this vitamin A treatment, I give them a single dose of a medicine called bethenacol, which stimulates pathways in the parasympathetic system in the gut. I give it to these children, and in the office sometimes, 30 to 40 minutes after the initial dose, after having pathways corrected for several months on vitamin A, when I bring them in, give them this medicine, observe them, they connect in the office. I've had children look at me, talk, act out, talk back to their mother, use vocabulary above their chronological age. This is a disconnect. This past week, I was involved in 4 cases of children who were perfectly normal.
So, I think that there's some reality here, these are doctors. These are people that are treating this. I just dropped that Facebook, this right here. That right there is to this so if you guys want to go over there and save it so you guys can go back and review it, do your research. But I definitely, there's we have to remember. Oh, thank you, Rachel. Bless you. Thank you. I really think that there is something that can help reverse some of this stuff, but we need to start paying attention. And we need to start thinking outside the box. Look, I'm one of these people that believed in everything I was told. Okay, I was taught to trust the professionals, that I'm too stupid to know what's better for me. Okay, that's the way I grew up, and I trusted that people wanted to take care of me, right? But I also got into a wreck. I was pilled up. I had a drug problem, which turned into an alcohol problem, which stemmed from a lot of stuff that I was dealing with as a child. A lot of things in my life started with a doctor. Okay? Now, things that didn't start with a doctor are things that I had to live through that, helped manifest this problem with me. But by the time COVID came around and I did my research on that myself, looked at the reports, identified a vitamin D deficiency. I started flooding my body with vitamin D. I never caught COVID. I never took the jab. I always kept myself healthy. I was about washing my hands and taking normal steps to prevent me from getting it without going completely crazy. Okay? It's just, all I can tell you is I researched the stuff. in my findings. And I do believe other people like me, like this doctor. I'm not a doctor by any stretch of imagination. Some average Joe can figure it out if you get the right information. But this doctor is saying, look, these are the reasons why we're having this affect some children and not other children. So if that, now let's go ahead and start adding this stuff back in as a therapy to help, maybe correct the ship a little bit. It may not be a complete fix, but if it helps even one autistic child that goes from nonverbal to verbal, then it's worth it. And then it's worth it. And we need to be listening to these things, because guess what? What she's talking about is more natural stuff, not chemicals from big pharma, just natural vitamin A introduced in your body in different ways. It's an amazing thing. I will send you a YouTube video about the jab, what they discovered. Oh, I know. And people don't understand. Like I see people going out here just to protest RFK, and doing this, and I'm just shaking my head and just like, you poor babies, you guys got to stop with that. I mean, but some people just, it's their body. They can do whatever they want with it. It's heartbreaking because, even though they think you don't care, I think we all really care about one another. I think it's just kind of ingrained in us on a human level to care about thy neighbor. I'm sorry. I do believe that everybody truly cares about their community and truly cares about one another. Because I do, right? I mean, I'm a hard ass. We don't give people passes over here. But why don't we give people passes over here? We don't give people passes over here because we care. Okay? That's why we don't give people passes over here. We actually care. We care what happens to people. We care what happens. I mean, look at me. I'm fighting for the EU right now. Like I'm on our X accounts telling our president, like we need to get out of NATO. We cannot support these countries that are doing this to their citizens. My heart bleeds, okay, for these people. My heart bleeds for this child on our screen right now, because had he, we don't know how he, what caused the autism in him, and if it was preventable. Now we have a child that may lose his life for something that a parent was just trying to be a good parent and doing, because we're told if we don't vaccinate our children, we're horrible people. It's just the mind, the psychological crap that we're all put through to do stuff, to do the will of what people want us to do, and look at the result of it. And it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. Is this a result of that? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I haven't personally studied autism, not like I did COVID, but I got to tell you, we did a lot of people coming up on our channel, people talking about COVID. We had those autism. We had those conversations about whether autism was caused by child vax, stuff. And a lot of the parents that I spoke to, they believe it was, not all of them. I'll be honest, not all of them believe that it had anything to do with it. But many of the people I spoke to do. And that's when I first started realizing, wait a minute, we've got a problem here. Because you can ask Mr. and Mrs. E. One of the questions I asked them was, tell me about how they learned about their child and their child's autism. And I asked that anybody that called into the show, you'll find if you go back to those earlier call-in shows that I asked everybody the same thing. What do you think may have caused them? You can hear it for yourself. I don't have an autistic child. Nobody in my family so far that I'm aware of is autistic. So I had no experience. I was very ignorant when it came to autism. And I think many of us that were in here are. But could there be something on the horizon that can help? I hope so. I hope so. I hope there's some relief for parents, that parents love their children and they go through so much, especially during puberty, which is where Sebastian was when he disappeared from his home that had 5 CPS reports and 14 months at. Just a thought.
The search is on for a nonverbal North Carolina 7-year-old who's been missing for nearly 48 hours. These are new photos of Liam King, shared by the Randolph County Sheriff's Office. He was last seen at his home in Asheboro around 11 a.m. Sunday morning. Liam was seen wearing a light blue and black hoodie along with black sweatpants. Deputies say he might run off if you try to approach him. If you do see him, please call 911.
All right, guys, so that's kind of it for our show for Liam. Now we're going to kind of be moving over to Sebastian Rogers. If you guys know anything about Sebastian Rogers, I will give you kind of the readers. If I can move this, this is Channel 5 filled with a whole bunch of advertisements. It was lagging my system. I had to stop it, so I'm going to have to refresh it before we get on with this section of it. And I put him up front because it was lagging the system. So if you guys haven't heard of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, he is the handsome boy sitting, standing right there inside his home with that beautiful smile on his face. He disappeared from inside a locked home with a military parent on February 25th, 2024, and then shortly thereafter, Mom picks up the phone, calls stepdad rather. They stay on the phone for a significant amount of time. She allegedly was speaking to him, falling asleep, reading a book, watching TV, just a really weird story. Here's some type of bang, sound, thud, thump in the room, but doesn't go and check on it. Manages to go back to bed or go to bed around midnight and then wakes up at 6 a.m. Autistic son that is not known for eloping, is gone. He didn't take his shoes, didn't take his wallet, didn't take his money, didn't take his keys, didn't take his backpack, his gaming system, or even a jacket on a very, very cold night. Sebastian Rogers, being autistic, never leaves the home without his shoes. Also being autistic, he hates dirt, he's allergic to grass, and hates bugs. So it's obviously, eye-raising to think a child walked inside a home but never walked out of the home. There is no evidence that this child left out his front door, which is what his mom and stepdad have been proclaiming since the beginning. And it seems like every single time some news comes out against either Chris or Katie, in this case, the FBI just updated, and we're going to hear the sanitation of mainstream media, local mainstream media in their community, sanitizing even the FBI's statement. What? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I wish I had a boo. I wish I had a boo button. Do we have a boo button? Nope. What? Now, maybe I should use that, because that's what I feel. What? Good gracious. Good gracious. Sanitizing even the FBI statement. Let's listen to some of this. This is not it. I think it's on Channel 2, which is really bad. And Channel 2 is the one I like the most. But I've also seen Channel 2 sanitize Seth's comments as well. And we've been talking about this for days. I told you guys back when I was going through the crap with, people telling me that I had some, protective orders. I'm like, for what? I didn't talk to anybody. I haven't been around anybody. I thought it was a whole bunch of rumor. I really did. I had no idea that hashtag Chris Proudfoot, hashtag Brady Proudfoot would be so stupid. But again, like I said, I see bankruptcy in their future, and that's all I'm going to say about that. We have a disconnect because we on social media, we seek the truth. We seek the truth. We honor and value freedom of press. And I hate when media, and I need to start correcting myself. We need to kind of categorize, right? We need to categorize mainstream media because it's, in my opinion, it's not fair to, just like when law enforcement paints with a broad brush and says social media, right? Social media. Yeah, all social media is bad, right? We don't like that broad brush, but in all reality, there are some certain content creators that are horrible and spread around nothing but misinformation. Nothing but misinformation. I could literally go through, oh, they don't have it. I could literally go through right here. That's by CNN. Hold on, let me find my history. Let me go backwards. Where's my Grok? I had Grok look up the credibility of JLR, right? Grok says he's full of shit. So we do have some content creators that do nothing but spread around and provide news on horrible reporting. And I know JLR, he's got, all these people that follow him, but very little of what he's saying is actually accurate, right? So even Grok has picked up it, and literally I asked for very specific issues. So it tells us very, very, very specific cases that, oh, you guys can't even see it all. I got you guys blocked off here. Hold on a second. Let me move this on over. Golly, we don't want you guys missing this, that sweet little Christian boy, right? We don't want you missing this. So it actually just lists all of the inaccuracies, right? All of the inaccuracies on these cases, and we know that. We watched what he did to Seth Rogers because he had a bone to pick. He got his feelings, his little girl feelings hurt, right? His little pussy feelings hurt. So he exploited that whole entire situation, and we see this over and over again. So it's not fair for us to paint with such a broad brush when it comes to mainstream media, because as many of you know, I highly respect some people on mainstream media. Highly respect the crap out of them because they believe in freedom of press. That's why. I like them, because they believe in freedom of press. Like, let's say Vinnie Politan, Nancy Grace, Brian Enton. They hold the public officials accountable. They're willing to go to court to get the documents that they're entitled to. These are people that are still, and I was talking to Lady Freedom yesterday. We had a great conversation for, for a pretty stinking long time. I remember that. It's like every time we turned around, I thought about it. What was I doing? Shoot, I just saw something and it distracted me. Oops, let's just get on with this. I'll quit bitching. It'll come back. I have a lot of bitches, so it's like this complaint. Well, if I forget this complaint, we'll get it on the next one. I'm full of complaints today. If you guys haven't noticed. I'm full of complaints. Come on, tell me this is a commercial. Oh, it is. It's Duke Energy. Okay, thank you, Duke Energy. We appreciate it. We did have.
How can a teenager disappear without a trace? It is a question that has baffled the most seasoned of investigators for a year and a half. That's how long it's been since Sebastian Rogers vanished from his Hendersonville home. Nick Barris tells us in that time, the FBI has been able to disprove two theories.
So many have closely followed this case and continue to ask and hope for updates. The FBI just issued a full synopsis of where things stand today. Sebastian Rogers.
And again, I'm going to put this disclaimer on there. They released statements from TBI in Sumner County. They did not take ownership of those statements. I see nowhere in the FBI statement where they took ownership or confirmed any of the information provided by TBI or Sumner County Sheriff. Okay? Again, I'm going to say what I say. He can say what he says. You guys can review it yourself, see where you stand on it. I'm not here to move the needle one way or another. I'm here to give you guys the information, tell you my opinion, and let you guys make up your own. If you guys are all in here, we got 236 people in here this morning. Please don't forget to go out there and give me a thumbs up. I'd greatly appreciate it. I'm also looking for some people to share these things. If you guys are associated with Sebastian Rogers group or Liam group, please consider sharing my video around. And as we're diving into these cases, we know something isn't right with Sebastian Rogers. No, absolutely, Frank. It's free. It's free. Show some love because I'm a love machine. I'm a love machine. a mom and a stepfather that are acting like buffoons. Complete buffoons. No parents of a missing child for 18 months acts the way they do. I have been around enough parents, hundreds of parents. I've spoken to hundreds of parents. Over the last years, you got to remember, I was a political activist dealing with a lot of parents, a lot of students, a lot of everything in my county long before I ever came to social media. Long before I ever got here. Okay? I know parents of missing children. I know how many parents that had unruly children just sitting there and crying and not knowing what to do with their child. I know parents' pain. They're not showing pain. They're not showing grief. They're not showing concern. They're showing it's time to move on with our lives. Yay! Yay! What? Yes! Yes! So I'm not going to listen until the FBI takes ownership. I'm not putting anything in the FBI's mouth. What was reported by the FBI were they only had made one statement. If you go back and read that, maybe two statements in that entire piece, they made two statements directly from FBI. All those other statements were either TBI statements or Sumner County statements. So let's not pull the wool over our eyes and let's not disseminate misinformation. All we have is an FBI putting out a statement. So far, I have seen them take zero ownership of the flashlight video. They've only regurgitated what TBI or Sumner County has told them. I'm not convinced yet because I don't trust Sumner County. Okay? I'm not convinced. I want to see FBI take ownership of that statement and say, based on the FBI preview or information that derived from that video, we do not believe it is significant to the case. I want to see and hear the FBI take ownership, not TBI and not Sumner County, because if we've been screaming Sumner County and TBI are corrupted, then why are we going to be listening to them for information? So that's one thing I want to see. The FBI got a statement from TBI Carter. Brandon Carter's SCSO, I think. Tenn Bailey is TBI. Or is that opposite? I don't know. Didn't Tenn Bailey retire? Maybe he was the previous detective and Carter took it over from him. But even like all these people around this case that touched this case at the beginning, none of them are there anymore. Sonny's dead. The original detective's retired. Lying Byington's retired. I mean, DA Ray Whitley's retired. It seems like everybody's scrambling like roaches, like cockroaches in this case. Just saying. Just what it looks like on the face. I don't know if that's the case. I do know Lisa Byington's a cockroach.
Rogers disappeared from his Hendersonville home on February 26, 2024. The 15-year-old with autism did not take any clothes, shoes, money, food, or his cell phone. His mother only reported a small yellow flashlight was missing. A massive search, including TBI and Sumner County Sheriff's investigators, covered a 4.5-mile radius around Sebastian's home. That's roughly 44,000 acres and no sign of the teen.
Bobby Simmons,
thank you. This is the system that we use to track all of our searchers.
The FBI says agents have now followed through every one of the hundreds of tips. However, they have yet to produce any solid leads. Several months have indeed passed, but Sheriff Eric Craddock has said,
it's not a cold case. It's an active and ongoing investigation.
The FBI now does disprove two theories. One involved.
So he's saying it's not cold. Jennifer Coffindaffer is saying it's cold. Eric Craddock is saying it's not cold. It's an active and ongoing investigation. I don't believe him. I don't believe him. I know. I know. What do you do? What do you do? For the people that are just coming in, please don't forget to go out there and hit that like button. I'd really, really appreciate it. Yes, and Sebastian's father now has a merch link for his son. This is to help raise money to raise awareness related to his son. Not bad critical thinking for a stroke. Trust me, I'm about to be a stroke victim. I mean, when we come up on 2 years and nobody's arrested, It's like, you know what? I'm going there to make a difference. I'm going to be in my bullhorn every 5 minutes at the top of the hour. I'm going to say what I mean what I say. And if it comes out a little mean, so be it. So be it. But it will not be late, cuss word filled. Like I really would like to give them my mind, but it's not going to be effective on that street. And I represent Sebastian when I'm out there. So you know what? When I'm here in my home and I'm on this Bullhorn Betty channel and I have my opinions, those are mine. When I'm out there on the street advocating for a victim, I am to honor that victim and show that victim the respect that they need to get the job done. And that's why you get Bullhorn Betty from home and Bullhorn Betty out there on the streets. Sometimes I get rough. And when I get pushback from law enforcement is the more I take those balls and just start turning. And I can, lawfully and legally, because I follow the law, I follow the Constitution, and it's within my right.
Security video, which I obtained early in the investigation, showing what appeared to be lights outside Sebastian's home the night he disappeared. Agents say the dark sky and camera angle combined had distorted the security footage, and lights were actually from a truck away from the home. They have also now debunked a theory that a person in a green hoodie spotted near Sebastian at a restaurant before he disappeared was an...
And this is why I don't like mainstream media, and I don't like Nick Barris. Where is his expert, right? Think about it. What happens when things like this come out and it defies what the public believes? Usually, at least a good investigative journalist, somebody like Nick Barris that knows better, for example, would say, I need a light expert. Let's have a show. Let's have a clip. Let me pick the mind. Let me produce the video I acquired. Let me send it over to an expert and see what their findings are. See, here on social media, we would do that. And I am pretty sure several people have reviewed this footage from those very experts right here on YouTube. And I am confident nobody believes that they're reflections. And I mean nobody. So, we've got a problem. We've got Sumner County saying one thing, the local mainstream media supporting the things that they are saying, and there's no independent verification even from the media out there. Where is their expert? Why aren't they having their light expert come on, look at it, and give their honest and humble opinion about whether these are just specks of light and reflections? And furthermore, how did a reflection trigger a motion sensor at the house? Because the last time I noticed or heard, a reflection is just that, a reflection. How can a reflection from some distance away trigger a motion detector light on the very house recording the movement? Right? When we get those answers and they're not tainted and they're just explained, because, I mean, let's face it, they're saying that this is insignificant. So if it's insignificant, explaining it to us and showing how they came to that conclusion shouldn't be a problem. It has nothing to do with the investigation. They have no reason to hide about it. They have no reason to lie about it. Just throw it out there and show us all. Here is the full video. It means nothing to us, folks. So here's the full video. It's inconsequential to this case. It's a nothing burger. So here's the derivative of it. Here's the video. Here's the truck that's producing those lights or the glare, and this is why it's triggering this motion detector on, right? They're saying it has nothing to do with the case. Perfect. Since it has nothing to do with the case, it doesn't go to the integrity of the case, and therefore it should be released to the public. Their words, not mine. He also wears his wife's panties. Do I have to say allegedly? I don't want to say allegedly, because I want him to have to come here and sue me in Florida. I'd like to take him a walk, take him around for the walk of the park here at the Florida court systems, right? because obviously Tennessee is a corrupt state. It's corrupted. It's a corrupted state. In many cases, it is. There we go. There we go, Sonia. Good girl. Good girl. That's what I'm talking about. So I just want to put that disclaimer on there. Yes, this is what law enforcement is saying, so we want to make sure everybody knows exactly what law enforcement is saying, but my opinion is that the information is wrong, and if it's not wrong, then it has nothing to do with the integrity of the investigation, and the full report and the video should be released to the public. It will settle this argument down, and we can move on.
Anyway involved. The Amber Alert for Sebastian does remain active, and the FBI is offering $50,000 for any information that leads to his whereabouts. They do encourage the public to continue to call in tips to 1-800-TBI-FIND. Nick Barris, News Channel 5.
He put his glasses back on. There was a couple of videos that he ditched the glasses, and I was like, okay, we got a new Nick Barris. Now he's back in his glasses again. He's back in his glasses. I guess his glasses, you know, like some people have like the mustache, you know, or the bow tie. I always love the people that likes the bow tie as opposed to the tie, you know. It's just, I don't know, it just seems dapper to me. I don't know. But Nick Barris back in his glasses. Thank you for the reporting. I just disagree. And I'm going to keep hitting, you know, local media. It's nothing personal. It's just business. You know, at the end of the day, I don't really respect a whole lot of media. There are people that I respect, and the ones that I do respect, I respect the heck out of. So, this is the stepdad. He wants to be on TV. He likes to mock the local sheriff. He likes to mock the father that he disappeared his son. He doesn't act like a normal, run-of-the-mill stepfather. The mom acting all crazy. She doesn't seem to care. So at night says if you want to be online, you want to be in the public acting like a fool, then we're going to broadcast it since clearly you wanted it broadcasted, right? Since clearly you want this stuff, your behavior out there, that's what at night's thinking, right? They go on a YouTube channel that's open to all the public to see if this person makes a complete ass out of himself, looks very cold, disheartened, doesn't seem like he's taking the fact that his stepson that disappeared from his home. Can you imagine being a military person and somebody disappeared from your home and you don't take that ultra personal? You actually celebrate them gone? This looks like a celebration. This doesn't look like somebody that's grieving the loss of a child or concerned about a missing child. It seems like somebody that's happy they got away with something. And they just continue to mock and mock and mock. And the sheriff and his cronies just want to go out and eat lunch with this piece of shit. I'm not gonna sanitize my word. He's a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit. Chris Proudfoot is a freaking class ass piece of shit. Sorry, not sorry. So hey, since he wanted his 15 minutes of fame, by God, courtesy of At Night Intelligence, your wish is their command. I would have made it smaller. I would have put the mocking video up and put his face down so they knew exactly who he was. The stepfather. The idiotic, bonehead stepfather. Don't worry. These are just At Nights. These are just At Nights posters. Bullhorn Betty hasn't started her bullet boards yet. I ain't going to be asking. Bullhorn Betty's going to fund those herself. Watch me work. I might come to you guys for a little bit, but... The first few are on Bullhorn Betty. But Bullhorn Betty hasn't started yet. And I'm not just going after, you know, the horrible parents. I'm going after the politicians. There's going to be all over these blip boards. We're coming after the politicians. We're going to say, you guys are not going to keep playing these games. Nope. We as the public, you took federal funds. That means you get to deal with Bullhorn Betty. You don't want to deal with people like Bullhorn Betty? Then keep your grubby hands off our federal funds. It's just that simple. That's just that simple. But as soon as you start taking federal funds, you open yourself up to dealing with everybody. I'm just saying. So thank you. At night. Perfect. And don't worry, I expect the unscrupulous PI to say, "Oh my God, I've got a bigger penis. So I'm going to go and I'm going to take it down because I'm the ruler of child abusers, and I like to lie about how many people I find every year, and I like to lie about being a PI on my applications to the states, and it's only a matter of time before my PIs are gonna go bye-bye. Just saying. So, anyways, the FBI is cleaning up some of the images. This is what we're hearing is coming from the FBI. Do they have the video? FBI provided a clear, crisp copy of the view of the camera footage that shows the lights in the backyard compared to the other footage of the same camera. You can see how much better and detailed the FBI. Perfect. Then the FBI can put their statement and their name on it without including comments from TBI or Sumner County. I'm very, very picky about who makes the statements, okay? Because if the FBI was owning those statements, they wouldn't have put the Sumner County Sheriff's statements in or the TBI statements in. They would have put their findings in that report all by themselves. They did not own those statements. The FBI did not own those statements. Prove me wrong. Go back and read that statement and tell me what what FBI owned in that statement. You know what they owned in that statement? The statement that put a target on Katie Proudfoot's back and said, yeah, it raises questions. It raises a lot of questions when a child goes inside a home and never comes out. That was the statement of the FBI. Those other statements in that FBI release was not FBI statements. They produced what was stated by TBI, what TBI in Sumner County wanted them to release or authorized them to release. That's all that was in there. They did not take ownership of this camera or the flashlights. And I want to hear FBI say, these are not flashlights. I want their ownership of it. When they come out and take ownership of that statement, I will stop with the lights. But they better explain how a reflection is moving across a yard when there's no lights moving around the neighborhood. It doesn't make sense. I am a videographer. It doesn't make sense to me. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to jump ahead and then we're going to backtrack because here's where the sanitization comes in. And unfortunately, it's coming in on 2. And I like 2. You guys know I like 2? Let me see where my camera is. Hold on here. Oh, we need to get the whole damn thing in here, don't we? Okay, we're off. If I quit fluffing around with it, I might be okay. Okay, there it is. Did you hear me, Sonia? Fluffing around. I stole your language. Did you get that? Did you hear me? Fluffing. She's so proud. You know what I think? I think every time Bullhorn Betty bleeps or says fluffing and instead of the words, I think we should be giving Sonia a cuss jar tip because she made the show a little more, family oriented because it's her work, not mine. It's her work, not mine. I'm just saying. Watch this, okay? I'm gonna stop it and then I'll play it for all of you.
A breaking news alert right now. The FBI is reissuing their alert for Sebastian Rogers, a teen missing from Sumner County.
So Peyton Kenny is back at the WKRN.com alert desk with a look at what the FBI is saying. Peyton.
Yeah, the FBI is detailing all of the information they have gathered since Sebastian Rogers went missing on February 26, 2024. The details posted to their government website. It walks through what they know about the day before Sebastian disappeared, plus what happened that night and the next morning when his mother went to wake him up for school and found an empty room. The report says law enforcement used every available resource at their disposal to try and locate Sebastian, and they have followed through on every tip.
It's coming up.
An FBI Nashville special agent says there's a question mark that has only grown bigger through.
There's a question mark that has only grown bigger. Did you guys hear that? That was the sanitized version, because that statement from the FBI said the child, we have a big question mark here when a child goes into the home with their mother. And I'm pretty sure they even said Katie Proudfoot and didn't walk out. That's where the big question mark is. But they did not say that. They only said they have a big question mark. But they never alleged what that big question mark was about. And the big question mark was about the child going into the home with his mother and never leaving the home. That's the big question mark. They sanitized. Channel 2 sanitized the FBI statement about Sebastian Rogers. And when Seth was out there and he gave them and he told them how he felt, his opinion about Sumner County and their corruption, they sanitized that out of there. The same Channel 2 news as here. And again, I like Caitlin. And she works for a company. She has to follow their rules, and I get it. But at what point are we not going to say something to the people making these decisions over the reporters and the reporting of the actual factual statements that the FBI made? They didn't have just a big question mark about the case. No, it was about very specific point in the case. And they sanitized it. They sanitized it for their local market. This is what we don't do on social media. We do not sanitize the statement. The FBI appears to be looking right at Katie Lynn Proudfoot. Excuse me, let me make it a lethal name. Hashtag Katie Lynn Proudfoot. Got to make sure we use those lethal words on the Bullhorn Betty show, those really violent words. Right? That's what makes me angry with mainstream media. And getting back that I have got to quit incorporating all of them in it, just because not everybody is this corrupted. Right? There's a lot of media that does the same darn thing, but are not corrupted. They're corrupted. Their media will only tell what their politicians want them to say. Is that the kind of media you want? Is that the kind of news you want in Tennessee? Is the ones that don't do any independent fact checking? They just regurgitate what your politicians want you to believe? That's not freedom of press. And this was horrible. A question mark. That is not what the statement said. The question mark was, it was about Katie going into a home with her son and her son never leaving the home. That's the big question mark. Sanitized. Sanitized, sanitized, sanitized.
To try and locate Sebastian, and they have followed through on every tip. An FBI Nashville special agent says there's a question mark that has only grown bigger through the search. Information can go to the Sumner County Sheriff's Office, the TBI, or the FBI. Now, when he was last seen, Sebastian was 5'5" and around 110 to 115 pounds.
So, let's go over to the FBI because I don't sanitize. I do not sanitize reporting to my audience. Will not do it, will not engage in it. Let me go to the other one. That's just the sheet. There's the FBI. Let me put a comment in here because I know they have a new update. Hmm. 5 days ago. Here we go. So we're not going to sanitize the statement for our audience. We're gonna let you guys know exactly what was said. There's not just a big question mark. There's not just a big question mark. There's more than just a big question mark. Let me take my big old cranium out of here. Let's read it. I'm going to read it out loud. On February 26, 2024, Katie Lynn Proudfoot went to wake up her 15-year-old son from school. Still upset that they haven't changed that. To her surprise, he was nowhere to be found. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers had spent the previous day with his mother. The pair shopped at department store, played video games at a bowling alley, which we're hearing this statement here is absolutely false. Right here. But we'll be getting the videos of that from at night very soon, it sounds like. And had dinner at a local restaurant before heading home for the evening. After returning to their home in Hendersonville, Tennessee, Katie and Sebastian prepared for bed, saying goodnight sometime between 9 and 10 p.m. We know he was already in bed long before 10 p.m., according to everything that has been said for the 18 months. Katie told us a little before 10 she heard a loud bang. So if anybody heard me go from saying something to maybe a gun was used, a firearm was used, that's because of that statement right there. That is now putting a different theory to play in this case, coming from Sebastian's room. So she yelled out to ask him if he was okay, which he responded that he was. So this statement doesn't even sound like anything Katie has ever said. Detective Brandon Carter, then he's the Sumner County detective, she told him to go to bed because he had to be up early for school the next morning. That statement has been wildly changed throughout multiple interviews she has done. Katie called her husband, who was out of town in Southwest Tennessee, which he's changed that to where? Horn Lake, Mississippi. So again, these are all statements that FBI is not taking ownership of. These are statements from TBI and mostly Sumner County Sheriff. So Katie called her husband, who was out of town in Southwest Tennessee for work, and the two of them spoke for nearly 2 hours before she went to sleep around midnight. These are all the statements from Sumner County and TBI. These are not ownership statements from the FBI. The next morning was the beginning of what would be a massive search effort for Sebastian. Katie called her husband and told him she could not find Sebastian, that he wasn't in his room or anywhere in the house, said Carter. You hear that? Said Carter, not the FBI. This is Sumner County making these statements. So I want to be ultra clear. Who's making what statements? There's only very few statements in this article. Katie got in her car, drove around the neighborhood and to Sebastian's school, which was less than a mile from their house, searching for Sebastian before returning home. During this time, her husband called the local emergency communications center to report Sebastian missing. In the early days of the search, it seemed Sebastian vanished without a trace. Now, here's the statement. Here is a statement from the Nashville special agent. This case was kind of a question mark, said the Nashville special agent Robert Barrett. Here's his statement. Mom wakes up and he's gone. There's a question mark and we've got to figure out what happened. Boom. This is literally the only statement that the FBI took ownership of in this entire article. Let's keep reading. Let's see if that's accurate. So that question mark only grew bigger as the search went on. Sebastian didn't take any clothes from the house. Okay, listen. This looks like it's all going together. Nope. This is it right here. This is all the statement that FBI has taken ownership of. The rest of this is going, again, back to Sumner County. Sumner County is the one making these statements. Here it is. It's right here. Said Carter. Said Carter, not FBI, said Carter. So this is where the misinformation from mainstream media, Nick Barris, that needs to be expressing this, because these are not statements from the FBI as he's proclaiming in his news organization. These are actually statements from the Sumner County Sheriff's Department, and I believe TBI may have made one statement as well. Everything else is Sumner County. Sebastian did not take any clothes, money, food, or his cell phone, said Carter. His cell phone and cash were both lying on the dining room table where they had been the day before when he went to bed. According to Katie, there was a small yellow flashlight that she thinks was missing. And we know why that flashlight was incorporated in here. It's based on the lie that there's nothing to see with the lights video. We all know that. At least we assume that. But that was the only thing that appeared to be gone in the house. Again, all of this here is Carter's statement, not the FBI. The first week of the search for Sebastian was a massive community and interagency effort between Sumner County, TBI, Emergency Management, Hendersonville Police Department, Gallatin Police Department, Tennessee Highway Patrol, the FBI, Metro Police, Wilson County Sheriff's Office, Sumner County EMS, Sumner County Emergency Response Team, and other agencies throughout Tennessee. Who's this from? Again, another statement from Carter, not the FBI. The search consisted of about 4.5 mile radius. It should have been over 5 miles. They're in a desolate area. It should have been extended out to 20, but I digress. Around Sebastian's home, said Carter. There were roughly 2,000 searchers equipped with an app tracking their movement. The searchers could use the app to plot things on the map that they observed while they were out searching. The total area they covered within the 4.5 miles, why they didn't do 5 solid miles is beyond me, because that is literally the next metric. Radius was equivalent to 44,000 acres. Just not good enough, in my opinion. Just my personal opinion, but that's still a statement from Carter. In addition to ground searches, law enforcement employed every available resource at their disposal to locate Sebastian. Fire departments, mounted patrols, ATVs, search and rescue drones, helicopters, and even an airplane. During the 2-day search, the Sumner County Sheriff's Department reached out to the FBI for assistance, specifically resources that could potentially help find Sebastian, who was high-functioning autism. And it goes on, I contacted our FBI child abduction rapid deployment team for initial consult. And then they brought in FBI behavioral analysis, says Barrett. Who is Barrett? Barrett is the FBI. Isn't Barrett the FBI? I'm pretty sure Barrett's the FBI. Let me just come up here with my big question mark. I'm pretty sure it's Barrett. We got to make sure we have an understanding of who this is. Yep, the FBI agent. So this is the second statement. This is the second statement that I said there was 1 or 2 statements that the FBI made in this entire statement. So this is the second statement that they make. This is the only other statement that the FBI has taken ownership of. Okay? So I want to make sure about her adult son and minor girlfriend. What about whose adult son and minor girlfriend are involved? I don't know what you're talking about. Barrett would be TBI, not FBI. No, it's Barrett's FBI. Right here is right here. FBI Nashville Special Agent Robert Barrett. So he's FBI. He's FBI. So this is the only other statement made by the FBI, and it says, I contacted our FBI card team for initial consult, and then they brought in FBI behavioral analysis to assist, said Barrett. The BAU shared statistics about, we know this is inaccurate for Sebastian, but still, they did have to look at the statistics. That information helped us focus efforts in and around bodies of water. The search team drained ponds and searched waterways and lakes for Sebastian. In addition, law enforcement searched almost every home. Video recordings from nearby homes, dash cameras in Katie's car show that Katie and Sebastian didn't leave the house after their return home from dinner, and there's no cars we've seen coming or going. Specifically, they're referencing Katie's home during the evening and early morning hours the night or day Sebastian disappeared. Now, here's TBI's statement, and this is I think the only one of TBI's statements that were made related to this, and then everything else is literally Sumner County. So I wanted to point that out because Nick Barris refuses to point this out to his audience, and we need to point this out because these are not FBI statements. These are the statements that law enforcement wants us to believe from Sumner County. I want to see FBI taking ownership of this. We have followed through on every tip that has come in, says Josh Savley, special agent in charge for the Criminal Investigation Division at TBI. So this is the TBI guy right here. His name's Josh Savley, which is good because we don't have that other guy that's friendly with Chris Proudfoot. It doesn't appear that he's making any comments, which makes me feel better because what was the other guy's name? We had Carter and somebody just said their name up just a little bit. But either way, this is a different guy, different name, so I'm confident in that. But it says we followed through every tip, says Savley Simmons. Thank you, Bobby Simmons. So Josh Savley is not Bobby Simmons, and Bobby Simmons was tight with Chris Proudfoot. So I think that hopefully they've changed that over. Some of those tips we continue to examine at a deeper level, but the vast majority have been cleared, either being irrelevant or ended with no results. The lack of answers in search for Sebastian has pushed the community to widely share the story on online platforms, but law enforcement reminds the public to be wary of misinformation from unverified sources. Well, right now, I'm thinking Nick Barris might be one of those misinformation sources because, these are responses, again, from TBI. Don't pick a fight with social media. It never ends well. Sebastian's disappearance has deeply affected the community, says Carter. Again, another statement from Carter. Are you guys seeing a theme here? Most of this statement is from Brandon Carter. The FBI took no ownership of the statements made by Brandon Carter, only putting his statements into the report because they're refusing to put out reports. So I think that the FBI needs to take more, my cranium. I think the FBI needs to take more ownership of the statements that they're putting out. Hey, well, hello there, gorgeous. I hope you're doing well. 10 months to check out temperature. Yeah, I know. Exactly, Life Interrupts. If SCSO is not involved in anything dirty, why won't they turn the case over to the FBI? That's a good point to make. I was talking again to Lady Freedom, and this is what I told her, and she can confirm it, on her show. If she's in here, she can confirm it in here. But I said, no matter how we look at this, Eric Craddock is incompetent. If law enforcement is doing everything they can to find out what happened, then he's incompetent because he doesn't have a public information officer keeping the public engaged, right? Any officer that has a missing child, they want, there's many law enforcement bodies across this country that would love this kind of attention on one of their cases. And Sumner County is getting it and thwarting every bit of it. Aw, thank you. And you know what? For those that are on the replay crew, I just found out this. There's a hype button. So if you guys have not pushed that hype button, I don't know how many times you guys can push it. Thank you, love. Thank you, Donna. Push that hype button. Apparently it's supposed to hype us. So right now I got 271 people in here. If 271 people went out there and pushed the hype button, who knows? I'd like to see how that the whole thing goes. So if you guys would hype me, that would thumb me and hype me, okay? Thumb me and hype me, okay? We're gonna have to get some type of song going on here. I'm in the bushes. Oh, there's Lady Freedom, but I'm listening while I'm getting ready. Oh, thank you. But I told her no matter what, he's incompetent, because if they're not doing anything, or he's incompetent. If they're doing everything and he's not keeping the public informed with what he can, like many people, they want to release as much as they can to the public. Even if they don't have anything to release, a good public information officer is releasing things like, we've searched this many areas, we've had this much law enforcement, we've evaluated this many. You guys are familiar with all that. We go through this with just about every case. So they're incompetent, and he's unqualified to handle this type of case, no matter how you look at whether they're doing something or not doing something. This is what I truly believe happened. And again, Lady Freedom can talk about it later. But I truly believe that they completely screwed up this case at the very beginning. And they're having to work 18 million times harder on the back end to try to correct some of their F-ups. And now they're finding how truly difficult that is to acquire things like warrants and subpoenas when they don't do the job correctly at the front end of things. And now I don't know, that's an assessment, that is my opinion based on what I'm seeing out here. I truly believe it's something more like that happened. But this illusion that the FBI made this statement, no, it's on the FBI's websites, but these are not FBI statements. These are Carter statements. These are TBI statements. I pointed out the statements from the FBI. I pointed out the statements that were brought on by Carter, and I pointed out the statements that were brought on by TBI. Let's find out who made the statements about the flashlight. That's going to be the most important, right? Okay, so where's the statements about the flashlight? Am I on it? We understand the community wants answers for us to explain every step. We don't want them to explain every step of the investigation. This is, to me, this statement right here is disparaging to the public, because not one of us has ever said we want to know every step of the investigation. Have you guys said that? I certainly have not. I haven't said I wanted to know every aspect of this investigation. No, I just want something, right? I just want to know that they're searching an area, that they're, we don't need to know that what the warrants are for, but that we've issued subpoenas, we've issued warrants, we've surveilled cars, we've forensically examined cars. That does not go to the integrity of the investigation, because whomever cars you've done knows that you've done that to their car. Like, this is so bonehead. It's so bonehead. But let's just keep reading. Let's keep reading, because I want to know who made the statements about the flashlights. Was it truly the FBI that made the statements about the flashlights? But we can't release all the case details without risking the integrity of the investigation. And I do agree with Jennifer Coffindaffer that this statement is profound. There's an investigation. There's an integrity of an investigation. So that tells me that we're past missing person. We're in a criminal and potentially a homicide type of investigation. This is high crime investigation. We asked the community to refocus on what matters most. That's finding Sebastian. The problem is, stay focused on supporting to bring Sebastian home. The problem is Sumner County likes to arrest and intimidate the public for trying to assist. And I am pushing back on it as hard as I can. So much so that I come here and scream at them more than I freaking praise them. And I will continue to do that until they get off their butts and do something. But still, where is the information about the lights? Let's keep going. I don't want to read the whole damn thing. I just want to hear about the lights. Okay, rumor versus reality. Let's see who brought this up. Rumor versus reality. 2 rumors in the search for Sebastian has been disproven. They don't say who, but let's just keep reading and see if we can get some quotations. It says a house down the street from Sebastian had a security video. So they even circle the light right there. They circle the light. Now remember, this is a stationary video. I'd like them to explain. They should have put this in a video. If it's a nothing burger, why not put it in the video and have a voiceover talking about what's seen here? You know, I don't believe it. So anyways, let's read it. A house down the street from Sebastian had security footage from the night of Sebastian's disappearance. In the camera angled in the direction that happened to be facing Sebastian's backyard. It wasn't backyard, it was his side yard, which that is categorically incorrect. Unless they're talking about the car's videos. That's categorically incorrect. It's in a common area on the side of their home. You can't even see the backyard from the video because there was so many bushes and stuff like that. So I'm splitting hairs here. At first glance, the lights appear to be right in Sebastian's yard, suggesting someone was lurking with 2 flashlights. They even acknowledged 2 in hand. But they're actually lurking with 2 flashlights in hand. Like they're acting like this is just one person with 2 flashlights. And that's not accurate. It's not an accurate depiction. A potential suspect given Sebastian's disappearance that same night. However, when law enforcement further investigated the video, they disproved this theory. What law enforcement? They didn't say FBI. They didn't say FBI. And very much in this, if you look at how everything is positioned in this press release, when the FBI is speaking and they say law enforcement, they're referring to TBI and Sumner County, not U.S. Marshals, not federal organizations, law enforcement, local, state law enforcement. So I don't agree with this statement. I don't. They have to do something more. The dark sky and camera angle combined had distorted the security camera when they, not we, right? They didn't say we. When they examined the video in relation to the topography of the area, they found that the lights were actually coming from a pair of truck headlights, flickering through the trees from a steep atop a hill about 300 yards. Who's out in the area? Let's put this theory to the test. Let's put this theory to the test. Because there has to be a hill around there, right? Atop of a hill about 300 yards away. Make this bigger. We're about to go through some videos. This is irritating me. Let's look for those videos that are atop of a hill. Let's see where our top of the hill was. King of the hill, right? So right there. Through the trees from a street atop a hill. Where is there a hill? Let's go. Betty's got some videos. Let's look in those videos. Do I need to hook up one of my... I might need to hook up one of my, first visits, raw footage. Here we go. First visits, raw footage. Let's go over here. I'm not going to be able to put anything up right now. Let's see. Where are we? So I must be coming in. Okay. Is this one? Let's see if we can add a video. Hold on, let me see. Media source. Okay, let's say we'll just do video. Sebastian, Wayne, Drake, Roger, vid, and then I'll just change it from here. That's what I'll do. Okay. So. And that one is 15. 15. Okay, there we go. Open Sesame. It's going to take a second. It's got to download from iCloud. Give it a second. Let's see what we got. Why not? Okay. Use hardware decoding when available. Restart playback when it becomes active. Let's take that off. We don't want that. Show nothing when playback ends. Let me just check. Speed, normal. Range, normal. Okay, perfect.
All right, so now we're back on.
Apparently I must have... Is that upside down? How the hell did my image get up? Yeah, I don't know. Let me... Properties?
All right, so now we're
it's
back on.
It's upside down. Okay, well, hold on a second. Let me pause it. Let me pause that. Let's... Properties, local file. I think I'm gonna have to play it and flip it up while I'm playing it. Let's try it again. Let's try it again. That was weird. That was weird. And it's not playing now. Local file. There we go. Let me say okay.
All right, so now we're back on.
Let me see if I can turn this. Okay, I think I got it. Am I making you guys dizzy yet? There we go. Yay! We did it! We did it! We did it! We did it. Okay. Now we'll go back. I don't know. I guess I must have recorded that upside down, and I must on my end must have sorry guys. Okay, let's go back. Okay. Did we go how many let me ask, why does it do that? I don't know. When I stop it takes it off. That's so annoying. But, oh, looky. I love all my coffee beans. I'm very late. Nurse Ratchet took her assistant, Little Ratchet, home. Now I'm nauseous. What? Are you feeling, we love you. We love you. All right. So now that we got the video upright, let's go. I don't know why it's doing this. It's not, what happened to my video? Let's see. Okay, so let's property. Let's go browse. Let's go downloaded. Let's go today. I didn't download there. Shoot. I think it's just going to keep giving me problems, and I don't know why. There it is, today, open. Okay. And it's not playing it. I'm having some technical issues with,
all right, so now we're back on.
Oh, because I keep hitting stop instead of pause. There we go. I fixed the problem, folks. So they're saying it's on top of a hill 30 yards away. So we see a little dip here, but I don't know if I necessarily call this a hill. Wait a minute. Did they give us a clue? Think about it. Now my brain is going, because there is a hill that we see. It's not a hill, it's a dip. You know, when I think of a hill, I think of a hill. You know, I don't think of a dip in a road. Are they acknowledging that there was a car driving around 300 yards away? Didn't they just acknowledge? That there was a car moving around at the time Sebastian disappeared? A car that they've never revealed to us before? An admission? Guys! I don't believe that those were... I need to be more convinced about the lights. They are up to something, in my opinion, with this breaking news. Yeah. So they just acknowledged that there is a truck, a pickup truck, 300 yards away from the house that a child disappeared from at night. We have some acknowledgement here. You know, we didn't think about it because I still am not convinced about the flashlight, but they just acknowledged a critical piece of evidence to the public. Let's keep looking.
All right, so now we're back on.
There's a dip right in front of us. Right? There's a little dip. Not a hill. A dip. I don't consider that a hill. Some people might consider that a hill. I don't consider that a hill. That's coming from Devon. And we're going back toward Stafford Court, where I believe that car is going out of. Let's turn. So where would those lights have to be coming from? They'd have to be coming from... Did I pass my turn? Am I going out? Where the hell am I going? Bullhorn Betty, where are you going? Maybe I need to change the video. This looks like it's taking me out. It's taking me out. Let me put that was 15. Let me put a different video in here. Let me put 14 in. It's gonna take a second. We're going through these. We're gonna go through these. We're gonna fact check this crap. Excuse my language. Sorry, not sorry.
We are now going to the sheriff's office.
13. Let's see what 14 is. Okay, it's thinking. Remember, Chris Proudfoot said that the dumbasses didn't even know it was my truck. Boom! We might be getting somewhere, folks. Who knows? We're going to go through this. We're fact checking everything. But we cannot discredit the fact that we now have a pickup truck moving 300 yards or 300 feet or whatever. We'll have to go back and look at the statement from where a child disappeared from. That is huge.
So now we're back on.
This looks like the same video. This is 14, not 15. Oh, hold on. This looks like the same damn video. Yeah, this is the same video. Hold on. Let me figure out why this isn't changing. I should be able to just populate. Save. It's saying save, so it must not have saved it the first time. Let's try it again. Okay, this is different. Here we go.
This is the back. This goes to the back of, look at that, right to the Proudfoot's home. The corner of that I'm seeing, there's the Proudfoot's home with the gate in it. So they had to go around the gate. So the only way they would have been able to go around the gate is through that garage door. Look at that. Look at that.
Is it echoing? Are we echoing at all? We're going to start this back because it didn't have any volume at first. No, perfect. All right, let's go ahead. You can't even see. Do you guys see that? Look, you guys see that? From that side, from that camera, you cannot see in the backyard from that neighbor's camera. Oops, wrong way. From that neighbor's camera. I want you guys to see this. Do you see all those? I don't know if you guys can see my, probably not. You probably can't see my thing. But if you look right past the tree trunk that's like obscuring this, from that camera, let me move this, let me put my, from the camera that's over at Stafford Court and Kellen Lane, they would have never been able to pick up anything in the backyard because of all those trees. It was in the side of the yard that we saw the footage. Okay, so that's where I'm having problems with some of the statements because that's not accurate. We never thought they were coming from the backyard. We thought they were coming from the side yard. So let's just keep going with this. If people want to know why I got a protective order against me and got arrested, it's because of me filming this in my car. That's how corrupt the county is. This right here that you're seeing is the reason why I went to jail, just to let you know, in Sumner County. This right here. And if you guys notice, not on anybody's property, in my car, recording, as I'm allowed to do in the United States of America. Did not violate or break one law while in Tennessee. And they arrested me to shut me up. To shut me up. To violate my constitutional rights and my civil rights. And Lisa Byington, that piece of shit, she's retired now, thank God, because now I can call her the pig she is. Okay, guys, notice? Still not on the property. Look at that. There's their grass. And even past the easement, past the public easement, right, is still their grass. Do you see me past the public easement on their grass? Absolutely not. You see me in my vehicle on a public roadway. Just making sure that's clear. Look. And a no trespassing sign on their gate. I missed that. I never noticed that until just now. I've reviewed this. No trespassing sign on their gate. Do you see me in their yard trespassing? Do you see me in their yard trespassing? Did you see me get out of the car and speak to them? Did you see me holler at them? I'm just asking. I'm just asking because this is what I got arrested for. Just thought I'd let you guys know. That was to the extent of what I said. Hardly screaming, kept it in my car. Did you guys hear it? I'm screaming. I'm louder to you right now talking in the studio than when I was driving by their house and say, hey, Katie, hey, Chris. Right? You didn't hear me hollering it out my window, did you? You didn't hear none of that. You know why? Because they're lying assholes that lie about everything, including, most likely, the homicide of their child. Oh, God, that was awful. Couldn't believe you guys couldn't even hear me over the wind. That is definitely not Bullhorn Betty style. You couldn't even hear me over the blessed wind with a microphone next to my mouth. There, you cannot see their backyard. Can you guys see their backyard? So that is a factually incorrect statement that the FBI made. That is an incorrect statement. No sound. Are you guys still not hearing sound? The video. I thought I asked you guys if you guys could hear the sound, and you guys said yes. No sound? Oh, you guys haven't heard any of it. Oh, well. Must suck to be you. I might have to mute myself then. Hold on, let me mute my microphone. I'm pretty sure whenever I put this on now, it's going to probably echo. Let me know if it echoes. Oh, you guys could hear it? Okay, Pebbles, let me know. You guys could hear it because I don't want to have echoes. No, the flashlight video is close to their house, allegedly. We could at one time. Okay, you guys can hear it now. Is it echoing? Let me play it again. Sounds good now. Okay, perfect.
And they said the car backed out here. And we did this last night.
Let's go back through. Since you guys didn't hear any of it, let me just go back. Perfect.
This is the back. This goes to the back of, look at that, right to the Proudfoot's home.
Perfect.
The corner of that I'm seeing. There's the Proudfoot's home with the gate in it. So they had to go around the gate. So the only way they would have been able to go around the gate is through that garage door. Look at that. Look at that. There's only one way out there between the gates. They are the fence. They've got a fence on their back, a rod, like an iron fence. Good Lord gracious, there we go. An iron fence. They've got an iron fence, and their neighbor has an iron fence. And there's like a patch of grass that you can walk through both of the iron fences, or iron fences, and you can only get it.
Hey, BMW.
Let's see if I can get it up closer. About to go to the Proudfoot home.
And you guys will hear the only thing I said, and it was not screaming by any stretch of the imagination.
It goes right down the side of their gate, right there. Right there. And then between the fences, the back fence and that, there's a gap. There's a gap that you can get through. There's a gap you can get through with the fence.
Possibly.
Hey Chris, hey Katie, it's nice to see you this evening. Nice to see you guys.
Now, did you guys hear me yelling? Do you think anybody in a brick home is going to hear me say that? You couldn't even hear me over my microphone. My microphone was at my lips, and you couldn't even hear me. The van is behind everything. Interesting. Interesting. The wind was that's what I was saying. We definitely didn't go Bullhorn Betty style, okay? That's what I'm saying. It's ridiculous. This is what I got thrown in jail for. Don't tell me that this county's not corrupt.
See that? And when you come back around here, right through the culvert, you can see right down along that line.
again because this is where I was just talking about when I found out you guys couldn't hear it, was you can't see the backyard. The backyard is covered by foliage. So those lights we never thought were coming from the backyard. They were coming from the side yard. And how are they reflecting? Okay, let's look at this. How in the world are they reflecting? Where would they be reflecting from? What car could you possibly see 300 yards from here? Look at it. Let's focus in on it. Let's focus in on it. Tell me where you can see a car reflection atop a hill 300 feet away with all of that. What reflection? What reflection could come through all of this? Can somebody help me out here? 300 yards away. Yeah, I know. They were having a lot of hostility over talking about that van. You can't just say, they just want us to believe all their BS, which we don't. In my opinion, you can't see no reflection. There's no possibility of a reflection going across this yard. From what angle? Where's the light? Let's go back to the beginning. Weren't we coming into the facility at that time? No, that was when I was already in the neighborhood. Let me check and put 13 up here. Let me see if we can put 13 up here. I'm going to have to fix this, though. I'm going to put 13 up here. Okay, come on. Okay, that's perfect. That's the... All right, so let me get 13 up. I'm going to have to play around with this because we always seem to have problems with trying to switch out, videos in here. Let's see what 13 has. I think 13 might be coming into the community. Open. Oh, it's got a, that's right. This is going to be a smaller one, so it sounds like it's just going to be... And this one's upside down too.
All right, so from here they backed up.
Apparently.
All right, so from here they backed up. We're gonna go.
Apparently, my videos I must have put in here backwards, or they must come like from they don't. I had to flip them all upside down in order. It's weird.
All right, so from here they backed up. We're going to go back around because we can see the back of their neighbor's house. So they would have had to come like right through this area right there.
No, not
right there. And they would have had to cut through and go around the drainage pond by the stuff, or they wouldn't have been able to get out. That's a ditch right there. That's a ditch and a culvert. So
I just don't see where. Oh, I keep hitting the freaking. Sorry.
All right, so from here.
Let me get back there. I hit the wrong button. I keep wanting to hit. Okay, there we go. I just don't see where the reflection could possibly come from, I guess is my issue. Let me go back and let it pull through, and then we'll pause it right where I needed to pause.
You're right there.
So I don't know where the reflection could possibly be filtering in through all of those trees to have the appearance of flashlights going across. Are you guys getting what I'm making out of here? I mean, I'm trying to show you why I'm not believing it, and maybe some of you guys might, and maybe I'm not thinking of something. That very well could be the situation. Maybe I'm just not thinking. Maybe I'm missing a piece of the puzzle here. But it just doesn't seem like any light from a reflection from any hilltop could penetrate the foliage right there to make the appearance of flashlights going through the yard. You know what I'm saying? Thank you so much, Betty, for showing this. It puts things, that's why I when I started reading this, but one thing that they're admitting is that there's a pickup truck in the area at 3 a.m. when this child disappeared. A pickup truck. A pickup truck. And like I think it was Lisa B. always reminded us that on Elevated Truth. Oh, let me take that down. Let's go ahead and remove this for a minute. Let's go over. Let me remove this while I do my research. Elevated Truth. Let's listen to exactly what was said to Elevated Truth about this truck, because somebody brought that up. So might as well go and we're here to learn. We're here to get the truth. We're not here to make up the truth. We want to know the truth. We want to know what happened to Sebastian. So let's take our time and let's just let's fact find what the statements are from the FBI. Now, I'm having a hard time believing that it's a reflection because, again, there's a few things that are making it hard for me to believe. One is we clearly see a motion sensor light. Oh, look at that. I didn't even see some. Oh, you guys are so sweet. Oh, thank you. I'll have to go through here and make sure I didn't miss any of you guys. Thank you guys so much. Oh, there's Mike. Hey, Mike, it's nice to see you. Hopefully we'll have some October surprises. I feel good. We're getting close to answers in a couple cases. I love your optimism. I love it. I love it. I love it. I hope, I really do. I hope that we can figure something, something out with these cases. They need to be figured out. This is getting, I think we're all tired of these children being let down over and over and over again. It seems like no matter what, they're always let down, and they're always seem to be let down by the people that we pay to be in their lives, that were in their lives, but dropped the ball. And it makes it quite difficult because we are trying to get a handle on what's going on, and we are feeling deceived. Hold on. Okay. All right. Let's look for the truck. Let's look for the truck. Come on. Where's my transcript? Give it a second. It's rolling a little slow. Actually, while we're waiting here, I'm just going to go ahead and start clicking out some of the stuff that we already went through that could be lagging the system down, that we just don't need anymore. We're over Liam. We're not talking about him anymore. FBI. Nick Barris's one is always gunky. That's the problem, is Nick Barris's channel. They just gunk it up with freaking advertisements. It's so annoying. It's so stinking annoying. Okay, so we got that. F truck. Okay, we're just going to listen to. I'm going to hide them under a, I don't want to put their faces on here because every single person on this panel is freaking trash. Every last person on this channel is trash. Let me make sure I got the right one. So let me go truck. It's this one. Sorry guys, I'm still looking for the right part. Let's just listen to it from here. That's where we'll listen to it, right from there. All right, give me just a second so I can put this on. And let me find my cover to it. which is right there. Let me pull this up above that so we don't have to see the garbage people. I do not plug pieces of you know what. All right, it is on. So I covered it.
Now, mind you, it was said that there were only what, 2 exterior internet sources that came in and out of the area that night.
Mm-hmm.
And isn't it funny how one person said one of them was his?
Yeah, that would be a little weird, for sure.
Oh, it got that night.
Mm-hmm.
And isn't it funny how one person said one of them was his?
He doesn't have to have a digital footprint. It could have been it could have been anybody on the road.
How do you think people kidnapped before electronics were around?
Before electronics were around, they didn't have CART teams that could come in and figure out what phones were used, what Wi-Fi's were in the area.
Right.
Now, mind you, it was said that there were only what, 2 exterior internet sources that came in and out of the area that night.
Mm-hmm.
And isn't it funny how one person said one of them was his?
So these are private conversations that was had between this elevated truth character and Chris Proudfoot. And this was a video that was removed or deleted from his channel because he went off. He was tired of being lied to and tired of all the crap and this, that, and the other. And he went off, and then he got bullied, and he took it down, shut up, and, you know, wanted to play nice, because at the end of the day, no matter how many times these people say, we're here for Sebastian, they're only here for Sebastian if it's warranted by, you know, Chris and Katie, hashtag Chris Proudfoot, hashtag Katie Lynn Proudfoot, you know? And so that, I went and took the whole entire video, downloaded it, because I know the type of trash that I deal with on these streets, and I know how slimy these people are, so I knew they were going to take it down. So I recorded the whole thing, put it on my YouTube channel, and now I have it for my pickings any damn time I want to. We will not forget. We will not forget. That video is no longer out there for people to see, although it was a conversation. And Chris came on there and admitted that his truck was picked up on the CART team. But what he says now is that his truck was picked up on the CART team after he arrived home at 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon the next day on the 26th. I can tell you, CART teams are not going to be pulling stuff well after they know that that child has been long gone from the area. I don't see what purpose it would have to pull that late, especially when they knew this child disappeared between 12 and 6 a.m. Now, I could see them going as late as 9 a.m. in the morning, but taking it all the way to 2 in the afternoon with all of those law enforcement, because remember, they said only two were introduced in that area. 2, right? 2. There were a hell of a lot more people in that area that day than 2 unknown people, because everybody that was there that day were pretty well known to law enforcement by the time they arrived. So there was only 2 Wi-Fis. The story can't possibly be true as Chris states it, because you can't just have 2 unknown sources when you have a sea of law enforcement out in front of your house when the CART team pulls that report. It doesn't make sense to me. Maybe I'm missing something. That's possible. That's possible. Hobo's Life, thank you. Melanie, thank you. Hobo's Life again, thank you so much. Graciousness from Gwen, we love you. New Bullhorn Betty membership given. It's nice to see you, and welcome to this club, this crazy family we call the Coffee Club. Epic Mom of 4 says, sorry I'm late, love your way. Oh, thank you. Kiki says, love your
Love your work. Love your stance. Appreciate it. Rachel became the newest member along. I missed you, Rachel. I missed you because I did get Kathy, but not you. Well, welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Grab your straight jacket and your padded room and welcome aboard. And then Kathy further... They use search and rescue dogs like here in Britain. And I know that was just something, but I can't remember what. So thank you for that. Oh, Rachel, thank you for showing some love. Donna, we appreciate it. Critical hit. Love it, love it, love it. Please don't forget, for the replay crew, you do have a hype button. All the folks that are in here, please don't forget to hit that like button and the hype button. You guys would make my day. Absolutely make my day. Brenda, thank you so much. Kiki says, and you guys should go hit up Kiki. She dropped a couple videos that I really, really liked. I need to go back and get those uploaded. I get so busy that when I'm going through some of this stuff, I forget to do certain things. But if you guys haven't been over to Kiki, get over to Kiki. In dispatch, in my opinion, there's 2 trucks mentioned, one neighbor's and one that is locked. Am I right? I'm unsure. I'm unsure. Those are the things that they don't really tell a whole lot of us. But at the end of the day, I feel we're getting a step in the right directions. I'm not convinced these lights because I'm looking at the area and where is the reflection coming from? You know, this is what I don't understand. They want us to believe this nonsense, but if they want us to believe it, you got to give us more than just your word. If it's irrelevant to the case, then it's irrelevant to the case. Just throw the information out there and show us what the heck you're talking about and let us all just move on from this, right? If it's reflections, it's reflections, right? I want to know the truth. I don't trust law enforcement anymore, okay? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. You guys lied to us too many times. So excuse me for not taking your word for it. Like, if it has nothing to do with the case and is truly a reflection, if it's truly a reflection, just show us. It's not, obviously, you guys have dismissed it. You guys have clearly said it has nothing to do with the case. There should be no excuse why we can't see the full video now. It has nothing to do with the case. Right? That's what law enforcement wants us to believe. That's what FBI is stating in their most recent statement. Fine. Then give us the tape. It has no evidentiary value, right? So why can't we analyze it? Why can't we have our professional people analyze it? Why are you safekeeping something that has nothing to do with your case? I know. One going there, like, yeah, we can't, Mag brings up a good point. Like, we had the light coming to a car, and we had one lone light going away from the car, where, if it was a reflection, why did the pair of lights going out to the car have a pair of lights going back to the house? That is a good point. That is a good point. That is a good point. I don't get it. A life underrepresented is so broad. Which video that is good. Oh, good point too. Good point too. They never specifically reference the video. They never specifically they say the flashlight theory. The flashlight theory. A house down the street from Sebastian's had security camera footage. They didn't specifically say it was on the corner of Stafford Court and Kellen Lane. And we know the word salad that law enforcement uses. Great point. Guys, you guys are picking up on some stuff. So they're calling it a theory, not a video. And they're expressing, yet they don't specifically reference which video angle it's from, because we also have the house across the street and one down the road that was angled toward the Kellen Lane. They didn't tell us which. They love to change what they do. We all know that. The lights return. One light, not two. One light returns back toward the house. Let's look at the lights video. Let's look at the lights video. Let's look at the lights video. Let's go.
Lights videos on Facebook. Where's my saved videos? Saved. There we go. All right. Let's do the thing. Let's do this thing. Do this thing. Do this thing. Do this thing. Oh. Okay. Let me... Oops, wrong one. God bless. Why does it do that? I don't know. We're on the wrong one. There we go. So let me adjust this. All right. Let's see what they're talking about. So this is what they're referencing, the flashlight theory, okay? This is what, if that's not word salad, I don't know what is. Yeah, they didn't reference what footage. This is what we, the public, I'm going to have to turn off the chat box just for a second, folks, okay? Because I want you guys to, I don't want anything obstructing the view. So this is what law enforcement is saying is nothing but reflections off of a pickup truck that's moving 300 yards away on top of a hill, okay? Which we don't believe. So let's watch this. Because a short time later, now if the car is moving and driving, there shouldn't be any reflection a short time later, wouldn't you agree? Because the car's moved on and out of the area by the time the other light runs back and scurries back. But let's go ahead and put our volume on so we can hear whatever is being said. If anything, I don't know if Nick Barris is doing a voiceover or not. I can't remember which one this is, so I think we're ready. So there's light source 1. Then a second later, you're going to see number 2. There's number 2 moving through. Now again, they're saying this is just a reflection from a car 300 feet away that's moving. So why is this staying so still if the vehicle is moving? If the vehicle's moving on top of a hill, then when it moves off the top of the hill, these lights should be gone. But instead, you see subject 1 move off the screen, subject 2 kind of reappear wherever it is. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then you still see subject 2 moving in the same path as before. 1, 2, 3. So we have almost, what, a minute? Wouldn't it be? Maybe it's 30-something seconds. So she's just, this is moving around, and then a few minutes later, you'll see only subject 2. So now she's off the screen. Let's not forget that we have subject 2.
A raccoon doing its best to become the department's next canine. Meet Gerald.
That wasn't the full clip. We're going to have to find the other clip. Because you see our CA light going back toward the house. Let me see if I can find it. Okay. Here we go. This is the bigger one right here. You guys see that? Ah, shoot, it's cut off. So there it is. Okay, this one, the other one was only 38 seconds. This is 1 minute and 30 seconds here. So now you see the full picture. You got subject 1, Subject 2 then is obscured. After subject 1 moves completely out of the way, then subject 2 still starts proceeding in the same direction as subject 1. But it's not until the end of this, because only subject 2 is seen going back toward the house, which is completely conflicting. There's subject 1 completely off, and subject 2 is about to pop up in about 15 seconds. And I believe it's those trees and bushes that are obscuring subject 2. And you see subject 2 moving in the same direction as subject 1. Aw, thank you, Kiki. Did you notice how they said no car at Sebastian's house? They didn't say nothing about a car in the road. Well, they were, in my opinion, were specifically talking about their home and driveway. So now you still see subject 2. What car is driving on top of a hill for over a minute? It doesn't, the whole theory, the whole statement that law enforcement is wanting us to believe doesn't make sense. And look at subject 2 right there on the screen. Right there on the screen, heading back. Subject 2 is heading back toward the home. So we have subject 1 appearing, walking off camera, subject 2 coming behind him, and then a short while later, one of those lights goes back toward the house. This whole event takes about a minute and 40 seconds. There is no way you are going to convince me that they have a hill so large and long that it's going to take a minute and 40 seconds to go over it. Do you understand that? There's a lot of holes in their statement that people that understand and have seen this, the FBI is not lying. I don't believe the FBI is lying. I believe law enforcement is. And granted, FBI is a law enforcement. I believe it's the locals. I believe it's the state. I believe it's the state because I think this is damaging information. I know Jennifer Coffin-Daffer, she's an FBI agent. She's going to listen to them. We can do one of two things. We can have a theory that says, okay, this is just a reflection. Again, it's going to be hard for me to believe. But then we have to acknowledge that they finally admitted that there was a pickup truck at 300 feet or 300 yards away from where this child disappeared from at the same time, a pickup truck. And that is a key takeaway, key critical piece of information, in my opinion. On the other hand, we can also take it as this is something major. This does draw a target on Chris and Katie's back, and they need to relax that target. They need them to believe that they don't believe that this lights video is anything. It's not uncommon for law enforcement to lie to the public when they need to. Okay, it's not that they necessarily want to, but have we seen them lie to us before? Yes, we have. Have we seen them lie to us before because they were worried about the suspect watching the news? Yeah. And so we have all of those factors here. And again, like I said, even if Eric Craddock is doing everything, he's incompetent for the job because he didn't know how to handle this. Even if they're doing everything right, he's still incompetent for the job. He needs to be replaced. He needs better training. He needs a little more experience under his belt before he takes on a position like sheriff. He's not good at it. He's not good at being the head of this. He's not good at dealing with social media and tough and how he handles himself with tough questions. Law enforcement around this country go to podiums because, one, they're comfortable with it and they know how to answer the questions. Anything that goes to the integrity of the investigation, you cannot answer. But all other information, you should be wanting to answer to clear the worry of your public, including people outside of your public. Because I'm telling you, what this man has done has tarnished the entire state. I am literally going after Bill Lee and Marsha Blackburn because of this man. Okay? Two people that I highly respect, but I'm over it. And I have to think that there are many other people just like me out there that will not vote for Marsha or Bill Lee because of this man. That is a problem. That is a problem. And I absolutely plan on, if I don't hear, and still, after all this complaining, bitching, moaning, and groaning, still have not heard anything out of Bill Lee or Marsha Blackburn's mouth. They're going to start getting billboards all across the state of Tennessee condemning them. And I'm going to put my name on them so they know exactly where it came from. I am not going to play with these politicians anymore at the risk of the lives of our children. We need to stand up, we need to fight, and we need to take ownership. That's our responsibility, all of ours. I'm just saying, this is getting ridiculous, and we all have to agree on that. And it's a bipartisan movement here, okay? True crime affects all of us. Our politicians and the lack thereof also affect all of this. All of us. We need everybody on both sides of the aisle to be united on this front. Law and order. You don't want to be hurt. I don't want to be hurt. We don't want to see our children hurt. We want to have a safe environment, and that's something we can all agree on. And if you don't agree with it, then you're in the wrong freaking on the wrong freaking channel. So there's a block button for me. There's an unsubscribe for me. But we are here on a mission, and our mission has been clear since we developed this channel. It has been very, very, very clear since we developed this channel. And trust me, there are several people in our channel that are on the other side of that can't stand my guy, okay? And I get it. And God bless them for being here, right? Because they put up with our shit because for the sake of these children, okay? Those are good people. Those are good people. And we need all good people to stand up and help out in this problem, because this problem is starting to fester, and it's starting to become more and more common in all of our states. You know, we need tougher penalties. We need our politicians on board. We need them making reasonable laws to help their law enforcement to get these cases closed sooner. And we need to quit pussyfooting around with parents that are obviously have something to do with it. These parents, they should have picked them up on child abuse charges. They should have thrown their asses in jail on the child abuse charges because they have probable cause for those at minimum. But they didn't. They still choose not to do it. Why? I have no earthly idea. I mean, if you can literally get probable cause on Bullhorn Betty for using hashtags, which is literally under the Constitution, freedom of speech. If you can find probable cause on Bullhorn Betty for using my God-given right in mouth, certainly you can find a way to lock their asses up for abusing a child. But they choose not to. Just remember that. They choose not to. They choose not to. They can, and they choose not to. Guys, we are getting some breaking news in right now. Breaking news in right now, guys. If you guys can stand here. We have horrible breaking news. Poor little Liam. It sounds like, I'm getting goosebumps. It sounds like Liam has been found. They were planning on searching waterways, so I have to, even though I haven't seen what happened, I'd have to assume they did locate him in the water. It is a very sad day. Please keep the entire family in your thoughts and prayers. You will never know what difficult this is and how painful this is unless you are going through it. And I guarantee that family for this boy is truly grieving. Their heart is probably shattered in a million pieces while we have a punk little bee named Chris Proudfoot mocking a parent of a missing child. Parents of a missing child that just found their son deceased are probably absolutely distraught. Guys, this is a preventable, I'm sorry, but we're not going to try to beat up the parents too much, but this was completely preventable. We all know this was completely preventable. Children, do get away from parents, but when you have a special needs child, it is your responsibility to go after that, go that extra mile for their safety. Again, my condolences go out. But folks, if you guys are dealing with an autistic child, nonverbal child, please, please, please keep an eye on them. Have security systems. Any window or door that opens, it sends an alarm. There's things that can be done when you're out in public. I mean, it's tacky, and for normal kids, I would not like. They do make harnesses with leashes. Sometimes with different children that have different ailments, sometimes that's what you have to do. Okay. Maybe we don't understand that, or we may think that's tacky, but if it's keeping that child safe from running away or getting hurt, being proactive, thank you. That's what people need to do. This family is paying the worst kind of price. It's heartbreaking because they're in pain. They're in pain. And this poor family's going to be blaming themselves the rest of their life. And it's just heartbreaking. So let's say a prayer for the family. I'm just going to leave my statements there because I just don't think it's the time and the place. It's unfair to them. And we just want to make sure that we just give them love and support, because none of us, only a few of you guys know what they're going through right now. So tell us what it was actually $400, and no, I have not. It's not coming out until it's not coming out for a significant amount of time. But again, I can tell you, I know my audience, I know the people that supported the $400, and I know they absolutely will approve it. I would never come to them if I didn't think that they would absolutely 100% approve it. And again, it wasn't for me. It never has been for me. And you guys will see soon enough. So, and plus we're going to be doing I don't know if you guys heard, for February, for our February event out in front of Sumner County, we are getting 4 and 5 foot signs of Sebastian, Chris, and Katie, so we can make sure everybody knows exactly who we need information. Who needs information? Like, this is the child that's missing. This is their parents. Have you seen any of these people in the last, from February 1st to February 26th? If you have, please call the FBI. So we are doing that, but that's not what the $400 was for. That I'm sponsoring myself. Bullhorn Betty is paying for those signs. I'm not getting those signs until probably, I don't know. I think I'll probably order them in November or December, right before Christmas. So if they do come in and they're off or wrong or not right, I have enough time to get them reordered and, make sure that they're perfect and make sure that they fit in the vehicle, right? We got to make sure we can transport them. I'm either going to hook them up to my vehicle by bungee cord, or I'm going to get some magnets and hook them to I want to make sure that they're on my personal property. So I have no problems with Sumner County, Two can play stupid games, okay? Two can play stupid games, but you will not strip me of my right to protest. You will not strip me of my right to hear my voice. You will not strip me of my right to move freely in your state or in your county. You will not restrict my rights. If you do, it's going to be on camera, and we will. I hope they don't. That's all I can say. We will go through all the processes that we need to go through to make sure that this is a happy and successful. We are not moving our location. We are going to be on public property right in front of Sumner County. We're going to line the public sidewalks. If they don't want us on the public sidewalks, we will get either in the road or on the outside, from the parking lot, wherever that is. But that is the public roadway. That is the public domain. That is where we can move around freely, unobstructed, without harassment. Okay? I don't want law enforcement or anybody out there harassing the people. You want to join? Come join. You want to protest? Get away from us. Get to another place. And please reach out to law enforcement to find the location. Usually law enforcement, when you have counter protests, always like you away from because they don't want the two units clashing. So we'll educate, because I know that the lack of training in Sumner County is bad. So I'm happy to educate law enforcement, politely educate them on different laws and different ways to handle certain things, since I believe that they're incompetent. We just want to make sure that everybody's safe. They're safe, we're safe, and we're unobstructed. So it's a sad day right now, but we are finding out Liam has been found. I'm confident he's been found inside of the pond or the waterway, and he's deceased. Let me just see if there's any information we can derive off of this. Okay, yeah, he was found. All right, here's what we got. Let me see if I've got it corrected on here. It looks like we got something. Let me see. I don't know how much of this you guys can see. I got to put this up here and make sure it's... There we go. Good gracious, there we go. There we go. All right, guys, so we'll read this together so everybody has the most updated information that they can have on here. Oh, that precious face. That precious face. Just a shame. Just a shame. Just a shame. So it sounds like the missing boys found in Randolph County after days-long search. And this is what I've always said, guys. Even when children go missing and are deceased, they're still found. We have Sebastian Rogers that has never been found. So the story that the parents have given us, just on its face, is a freaking lie. Otherwise, this would have been the ending to Sebastian's story right here. We haven't heard that. We've only heard the stepdad come to us and say, "You'll never find him. This is going to be studied for years. I did so good." The search for the missing nonverbal 7-year-old in Asheboro has ended. Randolph County officers say Liam King's body was found Tuesday morning in a pond near where he went missing. The sheriff's office said he left the area on foot, and hundreds of first responders from multiple agencies as well volunteered to comb through the area looking for him. King's death remains an active investigation. So he was found in the pond. If you guys, I think we were looking at this. So this is kind of where I think he pretty much must have gotten into, because this looks like this right here would be carrying him downstream, and this is really the only pond I see in the near vicinity of, you know, this forest. They say it's off of Forest Hill Drive, and as you can see, Forest Hill Drive, oh sorry, down. Forest Hill Drive is not really that long, so he's got to be living somewhere here, and the only body of water next to him, I mean, this is really far away, right over here. So I don't think the child went over here. I think maybe he fell into the creek and, you know, might have migrated down here. But this is kind of the closer, these two areas here are kind of the closer areas to the pond. But I don't know. It looks like it's about the same distance to get to this little body of water as it is to get to this creek. So they did find him. They're going to investigate to make sure that he wasn't just, you know, that somebody didn't just dump him in the river. But everything that I saw here, folks, I truly, we always have to keep the parents or the people around these children in the back of our minds. But there was just a piece of me that said, you know, there's just something. This child, you know, being nonverbal, just sounded like everything that I had read, that this child had wandered out, and I was trying to find the body of water and I couldn't. And while we were live, it just dawned on me to change it from the satellite view to kind of like the map, the rendering, the drawing type of view. And once we did that, we could clearly see where the bodies of water was. And there are a couple bodies of water pretty close to his house. And unfortunately, this 7-year-old autistic child, you know, probably just wanted to get out of the house and wasn't thinking, and, you know, just kind of wandering, and they love water and they think they can swim, and some of them just can't, and it's too late. By the time anybody even knows that they're gone out of their house, it's just too late, you know, it's just too late. Do we have anything else? Let me make sure I covered everything I wanted to cover today. Yeah, I think we covered everything, guys. That was a good live. We covered quite a lot. It's an ending to a long day here. You know, we just found out one of the children that were missing has been found deceased. The statistics that the FBI gave law enforcement at Sebastian's scene the morning he disappeared, or a couple days when they were called in, was accurate. You know, children that are autistic typically have a habit, you know, the ones that elope typically have a habit of running toward water, because many of the cases in, like Liam's case has ended, we watched it. So we can't say that those are wrong. They were absolutely accurate. My point is that just from a simple conversation with the parents, they could have eliminated that. I know they would have still checked, but they would have not put as much effort into thinking that this child eloped and went straight toward the water. He loves water. He doesn't like dirty water. So they should have informed law enforcement. If he went toward water, he would be in somebody's pool, as opposed to a lake where he would not go into because it's dirty. And that's the problem I have. What about the Cold Case Foundation taking over Sebastian's? Well, they don't take over any case. They are a resource and a tool that law enforcement uses, because there are a lot of retired, like Chris McDonough has cleared over 300 murder investigations, and there are a bunch of officers that come together to help law enforcement. So they wouldn't be able to take over the case jurisdictionally. They're kind of a nonprofit organization. But they are a tool utilized to assist law enforcement. Law enforcement in Sumner County this is where the corruption tag is flown, because they don't want anybody's help. They don't want anybody's help. They don't want Secret Service's help. They don't want FBI's help. They don't want Marshall's help. They don't want cold case help. They want nobody's help, but they're not closing this case or putting the monsters behind bars. So it tells me that they're the ones being obstructionists. They're the ones being obstructionists. This is what Eric Craddock wants to do. He wants to keep his mouth shut and pray to God that they finally get it so he can come out and look like a hero. Even when they solve this case, he's not going to look like a hero. He's going to look like an asshole. That's what he's going to look like. Okay? He's in a no-win situation at this point. He's in a no-win situation at this point. And you know what? What I would do is I would just. He's not even trying to. When you're in a good old boys club system, you can basically do whatever you want and still stay in charge. Okay? And that's the comfort that these county officials have. We need to make sure that that comfort level is removed. That's what I had to do, with the help of a lot of great people here in Manatee County, provide for the county commissioners, where we can come from a place of strength and tell them, if you don't do what we need you to do, you're gone. So what happens is he thinks he can just do whatever he wants, whether he solves this case or don't solve this case, and he could just rely on his people to keep him in charge, because that's how the good old boys club works. And my thing is no, we're going to come in here, we're going to expose you, we're going to embarrass you, we're going to make you look like a pile of poop, then we're going to run a whole bunch of political ads about you, and we're going to remove you from your seat. We are going to remove you from your seat effectively, efficiently, and it may take us 4 years, it may take us 2 years, we don't know. I think we have 2 more years after 2026. I think he goes up for 2028. So we might have to, I'm almost confident with the strategy I have in place for, at minimum, Eric Craddock. I think we will be successful at unseating him. I really do. But I've got to have somebody, I've got to have a sheriff that lives in the county that wants to become sheriff to take his place. Okay? But I think we will be effective in unseating him. We will find out soon enough, I have been very successful in many strategies I've used around this country. And then there's been times I've been, I've fallen flat on my face, there is that. It's not like we're always strong all the time. I've been in Montana and New Mexico. We were very successful in those areas, but we still fell flat on our face in some of the areas. So I do have strategies in place for this, and I am going to be ramping up efforts there. But Eric Craddock's got to go. He's just got to go. Mm-mm. What he's done to me, just and he didn't care. He's got to go. He's got to go. Because I know if it happened to me, it's happened before. They were too comfortable doing what they did to me. That's a problem for me. That's a huge problem for me. So he's got to go. Poor leadership. They got to go. They've got to go. I don't care how I get them gone. I'm going to embarrass the shit out of them. I'm going to have Mr. Struggle Snuggles on billboards. I'm done. I'm absolutely done. They wanted to try to strip my name and embarrass me and do stuff and try to take me out. Well, I will tell anybody that ever comes after Bullhorn Betty, you better get it right the first time. Because if you don't, by God, you got yourself a big problem. And I'd say this county's got themselves a big problem. So it is what it is. Anyways, we will continue doing what we're doing. We're going to continue advocating for Sebastian Rogers. We're still staying strong. We're still applying the pressure that needs to be applied. We're actually amping up pressure on people that can effectively apply even more pressure. And we're going to keep going down this. We're going to keep, eliciting the FBI. We're going to keep eliciting our major players around this country for assistance. And we're not going to let up until we get the assistance. We're going to keep pushing. And if they want to keep pushing back, we are a million deep. We push harder, we push stronger, and we keep it clean. And we're going to continue to do that. All right, guys, rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe, but more importantly, kind to one another. We'll see you soon.